TNC Predators turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to TNC Predators turn. Lena. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your hero. Ten seconds remaining.
You know, it's a beautiful time when BSJ's and they're saying, you know what, TNC's got to be aggressive, because that's exactly what we want to see, Sind.
Yep, it is, and this game is definitely a clash of styles. Vici Gaming, toward the end of the groups, I want to say, started playing a little bit slower in some of their games, and they've taken the style into this game. And I share a lot of the reads and thoughts of the panel and BSJ here as far as what the strengths and the weaknesses of each lineup are. And my biggest concern for Vici Gaming is, how do you find fights? Your catches skewer. and cast.
It's almost you have to go back to the older Magnus was like I blink instantly RP and then skew back.
But he's a position 4.
He is a position 4.
It takes a while to get those items out. So it's gonna be tricky, I think, for him to get these things done in the game. And when you look at TSC's lineup, it's the other way around. They have Tiny, who's probably going to get a dagger. He is position 4, so also a bit slower, but Sand King is a great patch. The Infest into Queen of Pain that can potentially jump the backline and get killed. But at the same time, him slightly playing on a timer, not too good at taking towers.
Yeah, that's what TNC always plays like. You got to have them be aggressive. This is what it is. Just run forward. We have our combinations for kills. Timing as well doesn't also seem to be limited. Like you don't have to wait, you go for a kill. I think the draft panel was talking about this tri-lane that they could actually get away with running if you want to get up in the face of Vici Gaming. If you want to try and restrict this area, the Vici needs to farm up, needs to be able to control to make the most of that in power.
There's so much. I'll let them release.
Yep. Okay,
right. We're good.
Out of the system, or it's just on cooldown for the
moment. So yeah. As far as TNC's game goes, because of the nature of how their lineup works with being very kill hungry and having a lot of stuns and fighting potential in team fights, and Vici being a little more lacking in that department, a lot of the time games like these get very decided in the first 10 minutes, because if the team that has all this cash and all this aggressive potential gets rolling, and the other team can't fight back, sometimes the game they just run out of steam really quickly. Vici Gaming, we had a game with that with their mag where it started losing map control. On the other hand, if Vici Gaming's laning goes well, TNC can't punish as hard as they want, and then all of a sudden you have a free farming Magnus or a Jugger with Empower, which you have to deal with. So
yeah, so they can't let them have that space. They've got to really try and control Vici Gaming. The first battle for the runes is going to be, well, probably not that much of a fight. Tims isn't really going to have a battle against Vici Gaming on the bottom lane, and there will be the contest by Cuckoo, as well as AU, which Paparazzi will have nothing to do with. So again, it's just that one floater around the runes, but it's going to be a straight 2-2 trade.
Yep.
So we actually get tri-lane versus tri-lane for the moment. This is how everything always starts. How long do you actually hold this? Like if you're Vici Gaming, like how fast do you pull the Magnus back?
I think they're just not... I'm not sure they're getting what they want here.
Well, they're body blocking the wave for the Radiant side, and they're letting theirs go.
Yeah, that's pretty standard nowadays, because what will happen now is this wave will push at the bottom lane. It will push into Enchantress, and she can play control on her side of the lane. But TNC, I think, did the right thing here. You put the Sand King bottom, you get the supports to just stay top and give Lifestealer a good start, and then eventually you can start making some moves. TNC is already moving around, and Sand King is one of the better heroes at dealing with these aggressive tri-lanes, because you can hide in the Sandstorm, you can buy this Quelling Blade right now, put down a sentry when they sentry. If you eat their sentry, they can't kill you. And I think there's only one sentry in play here for Vici Gaming, only one on DY, as Magnus is already left and is going top to help Yang.
Yeah.
After the switcheroo.
They both were holding it, but you're right, it's moved off that bottom lane. Still wait for the time for it. Tims and Darmel trying to play against Ori. Normally it's meant to be a little aggressive early on, especially with the Tims Tiny. Always looking for the right opportunity to attack. Same time, Gabby. Greatest thing about a Lifestealer, you've got so much to stay in your own lane up on that top, so you're going to be okay. Especially with the help from Ancient Apparition right behind you.
The lane gets tricky for Lifestealer when Enchantress hits 6. If she hits it early, and Lifestealer doesn't have total free farm, but the free farm aspect is probably in play. It's an Ench Magnus lane. It's very weak. Ench is strong by herself. Magnus doesn't really contribute very much, but he needs to get experience somewhere. So he's just
Tims, he's trying to kill off DY. That's not going to work though, but almost did.
Cute. Try.
It's like the worst creeps as well that you can be thrown into, the Ancient Prowlers.
Yeah. But yeah, Lifestealer will be okay happy up here. I think the challenge for Vici Gaming in their safe lane is to get Yang 6 as soon as possible without giving Fade no game on the mag. So every minute he will pull this camp, more than likely. And if Ench can get 6 in the meantime while he's doing this, they will end up winning this lane, which has a Magnus in it. If you win your Magnus lane, you're generally very, very happy with that. It doesn't even have to be a huge one. Even a draw most of the time when you have a support mag is a great outcome.
Just talking about winning the lanes. The one you're talking about before is like SK can hide inside the Sandstorm and farm on bottom lane. Hasn't had to use the Sentry and Quelling Blade, and hasn't even really got that much CS. He's 5-0 against the 15-4 of Paparazzi. I was expecting Paparazzi to have a pretty good game. Like, Juggernaut hasn't really been the most popular of heroes, but Paparazzi, I don't think there's been a single game where you've said he's performed poorly. And he's going to make this Juggernaut work, especially in the early.
Yeah, I used to have, when you think back 1 year, I used to consider Paparazzi one of the more unstable carries in his previous composition in the team. Would sometimes overextend, would make reckless decisions, get killed too much for a carry. I think he has improved a lot lately and really bumped himself up to the top of the list of the best carries in the world. Just mainly, it's not really his mechanics that have improved that much, it's his decision making. He just understands the map better, knows the limits of his heroes better, and it's showing in their results this year.
I feel like I also, like on both of these teams, there's the supports that make space for a lot of these cores too. Like, TI9's been having a great time, but here comes your top. It's Tim's going to work very early on. Paralyzing does make a difficult move forward. The Avalanche buying space, combining with the Barra Strike. This will be first blood. Going the way of Gabby. Paparazzi, there's no real way he can intimidate them to get off his support.
That's great news for Gabby to get the kill. 300 gold, it's the same as 6.5 creeps. Now you're going to have the swap going around, so Sand King will still stay bottom for now, looking to pull. And I guess he's waiting to see what Vici Gaming's rotations are. Now that Enchantress has TP'd bottom, they might want to swap something around again, and that looks to be the case. Gabby is now starting to run across the map while Sand King stays bottom to face the Enchantress.
Tim's going to go towards mid. Shadow Strike out, already line strike away from Ari, connects on Armel. Thanks to that regeneration, who's got all the mana and the health to fight this one. Even the help coming in from AU. Now they may even get more. Tims has got tossed back. Magnus arrived to go for a quick skill, grabbing two with the paralyzing cast. Tims as well as AU have to separate themselves up, but look at Armel. Blinked underneath the tower. Kills off Fate, copping a hell of a lot of damage, but they've got three heroes here. TNC as one. They push underneath the tower. Support's coming in. Maybe now it's a little too deep from Tims.
As one. They feed the tiny in the trees. Yeah. Didn't get the toss that he wanted there on the Witch Doctor. A melee creep came in the way, so Tims could not get the target that he wanted. But at the very least, they were diving with the chat wheel active, so looking to be in good spirits.
It's what you want to see if you're a TNC fan, right? Like, they're getting in there, they're fighting hard. It may not always make total sense, but that's how you topple one of the strongest teams in the tournament.
I like the mindset, though, that they're just trying to put the pressure, right? They're even though that was an overextension, the idea of playing this hard aggression and just keeping on cycling your cooldowns to get bonus kills, I think is a good approach. You don't want to just sit back and chill. And they've made some good laning adjustments by ensuring that the Sand King is playing against Enchantress, so Lifestealer has a better time. But Lifestealer against Jugger lane's completely fine. They're both going to farm. If Jugger gets some kill potential with a spin, you just rage it off and you're completely, absolutely safe and sound, so no problem there. Vici Gaming, however, are still the ones with the early lead. They've just got the better gold out of their lanes overall, mid lane.
Ari's being attacked, so will Elgato. AU's going to run straight past him, looking for the primary kill onto the lean and toss him up, throw him down. Okay.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Confirmed dead.
Confirmed.
And they did this with the Siege Creep alive too. They might want to keep this alive, but they can't do it. There's no additional creeps, no glyph, and this will not turn into any tower damage. Something to keep in mind, as we've talked about, this team doesn't have the best pushing potential, so you really need to play around those catapults. And the gank timing was good, but the wave was dead.
We're going to go again.
Lina nuked it out.
Wait, hang on. There's a sentry ward down. Tims is he's playing because he thinks he has the advantage with the extra information, but Fade's here. DY will start with the Maldic, skewer him over into Ori, combining with the Laguna Blade. Tims, man, I know he wants information. I know he feels confident, but that Maldic pop is going to finish him off.
And yeah, he wants to get in here. He wants to get information in the enemy jungle because obviously you're playing against the Magnus and Power lineup. They're going to be stacking camps for the Jugger to farm later. And while Jugger is farming and playing defensively in the jungle, the Enchantress can just play super aggressively in lanes because she's so hard to kill. And that's a nice balance in this lineup, is the pressure that can come from that hero as well as the Lina pushing out waves to keep TNC having to go back and defend. Clearing up, giving them that space.
Here they go again with the Observer and Sentry. They're making sure Ori can't see him coming right up the hill. They'll walk TNC into the mid. Paralyzing cast can make this a little bit more problematic. Ori, he's getting a lot of damage out. AU's going to go down. Ori will still fall for this course, but Yang's had time to TP over. Armel TPing out. One more ring with his health. Be enough damage. And Armel just not enough time on that TP to get away to safety.
Yeah, they were super ready to help out there. Might see a bit of a change up from Ori in this game. Maybe getting a little tankier in his build would be super useful. They seem to be targeting him really hard. Maybe getting a one bracer or a raindrop. Anything that can give him just that little extra time for them to connect, and this could go even better.
But I think he's already had 3 of the deaths of the 5 kills that TNC has claimed. So
they're targeting him really hard, but guess what that means? That just means the Enchantress and Jugger are having great games. And now that Gabby's playing against Ensh, you see the problem. He's getting zoned out, won't be able to farm here, and he's going to leave this lane. It's not feasible for him to stay up here. And of course, you have him power lineup. Sure, you target out one core, but you're not even targeting the guy who's going to, carry the game, which should more than likely be the Juggernaut with Empower. So the upside, of course, is the guy that they are targeting is the primary playmaker. And if you stifle Lina a bit, Vici Gaming will be playing more defensively, but so far it's okay. They're getting what they need.
Yeah, TNC need to add more pressure. But they still don't have that perfect timing yet. The Infest from Gabby just being used for farming and lane presence for the moment. And Cuckoo doesn't have that delivery system with a Blink Dagger. But it looks like they're going to give him top lane. But it really does feel like SK needs to get a lot more out of this game before TNC can be properly enabled, even with Tim's toss.
Both of the items he has queued up on Sand King are super good this game. I suppose you will get the dagger first, but I still think you get Veil after that. It's incredible for your whole team. They have insane amounts of magic damage to get amplified by it. He's gonna get dusted.
Cuckoo, however, Burrow strikes the other side. He'll be away.
Okay, minus 90 gold. There's nobody there to help him. That kill is just flat out not happening from Yang. But maybe a bit of a fear factor going forward.
Cuckoo feels fine enough just to buy up the bottle as well. Just walk through, back up to full health and decent mana. Good timing for it as well as the 10-minute bounty runes are about to spawn. TNC's looking to fight around the bottom, but Radiant scan up on the hill. It does ping, so they're already a little bit concerned. Witch Doctor throws out the cast, won't bounce to anyone, but Juggernaut ready to fight, needs some damage with Maledict already being committed. Ancient Apparitions back to relative safety, but with 3 seconds of the runes, Sentry Wards are down. Witch Doctor getting really caught out by the avalanche. Maybe with the heal though, it's still not going to be enough. But PG Gaming, they want to fight. Shockwave connects onto the Infest. Tiny, where are you going? Yeah, you've got someone else inside of you now. Gabby will pop out. Paparazzi's already got the kill on Tim's. Well, up on top, Cuckoo keeping Yang away from the runes, but because he fire striked in, no escape. Sandstorm was just on cooldown. And Yang, well, he already had the dust anyway, so big kills from VG Gaming happening on both sides of the map.
And it's Siege Creep Wave. They're pushing out bottom. Enchantress is starting a push up top as well, has 2 waves. And that catapult, so bottom tower definitely going down. Mid tower, you see Fade immediately walking over here to try and defend it. Will more than likely be absolutely successful. They'll
Trouble DY. Tim's has already killed him.
And he's dead. That's really high levels on Tiny. Level 7 now, minute 10. That's great for him.
He's been involved in all of the kills. All 7. 2 kills, 5 assists.
Of course, on Vici Gaming are happy. We talked about this is the early game, the early stage of the game.
Skewer underneath the tier 2 tower in mid. Fade. Sonic Wave pushes him back. The Shadow Strike was going to kill him, but Armel really trying to push the issue. Ori will arrive, but it's all a little too late.
So another extra kill going the way of TNC onto Fade, but where's the tower damage? Are you limiting the Vici Gaming lineup from getting what they want accomplished? They got the bottom tower, they're almost getting the top tower, and this is the farming side that's doing the pushing, right? This is the lineup that you expected would maybe be a little bit slower, and they're still the first ones to get a tower and almost get the second one. So very good news for Vici Gaming.
They're trying to go in for an as the Ice Blast is coming in, they just have to hold him there, and they're able to do so! Yang!
Nice execution.
Felt really good about pushing the tower as well, but the Midas took out the catapult, and then the push power just came a little too slow, and still by himself. Just in case you needed to raise the spirits.
Yep.
So VG, like, you've still done heavy damage to the tier 1 tower up on top. You've taken the bottom tier 1 tower as well. Is this that point where you're actually happy to let the tier 1 tower go? Is it TP in?
This is pretty dangerous.
Well, here comes your avalanche already. DY, open wounds up. Can't move away. Paralyzing cast, making it difficult for TNC to instantly disengage. Paparazzi has the Omni Slash available. Here comes your Ice Blast, however. Yang and Paparazzi both getting chilled to the bone. And they need more help to arrive. Fade's thinking about making his own play. He's going to skewer himself away. He wanted to skewer into the RP if they really want to have the fight, but maybe now Ori can find an exiting hero with a light strike array. They control Cuckoo. He'll burrow strike away, but because he's been dusted up, one more attack. He went down to 18 HP. The shockwave, it pulls him back down to 29. They still need one more. The flame will reach from afar. Ori channels the power of the dragon.
Really nice
Right,
spell.
the Sand King.
Super good spell casting. They hit so many things right on the edge. The shockwave was great. The Dragon Slave in the end, just barely clipping. They get the impetus off as well before he gets down. Super nice from Vici Gaming. And I thought they were going to lose this tower and maybe a couple of kills, but they end up holding it barely, and they are the ones rewarded with a tower kill. They get this on the Jugger. He's now far ahead of the curve.
He's right in front of 3 heroes.
And, yep. But he's not walking up.
All right.
Maybe old Paparazzi would have farmed that camp. But new Paparazzi.
They were hoping for it. The Ice Blast just flew straight over the top of him.
Version 2.0 does not make that mistake anymore.
And that's the kind of clean, sharp play. That's the reason why a lot of people were backing Vici Gaming coming into this TI.
Yep.
Like even over teams like LGD. So Fade's getting his time to farm up inside the jungle. There's so much space in the jungles. DY earning all the fantasy points by stacking every single possible camp he can.
You love that, don't you?
Oh.
In your team today?
Of course I do.
Oh, of course.
Of course I do. Like, you're 14 minutes into the game and he's got 13 fantasy points. That's how fast DY moves.
He also has a haste now, so
Yeah,
also.
that was the intended visual pun.
Oh, I didn't know you were looking at that. I'm looking at my own stuff.
I'm looking at everything, man. I see all. Gabby takes the tier 1 tower up on top. Actually, he misses the last hit on it. But still be a tier 1 tower dropping. The mid tier 1 tower is being chipped away. Fade will finally come out and defend that. But Vici starting to have some damage done to their map control. Losing the tier 1 tower up on top as well as mid. This is really going to start to feel a restriction and an opportunity for TNC to at least gain some vision if you get those orbs down. See where Vici is moving.
I thought Vici were not going to fight the top tower, but defend everything else, or try to defend everything else in the game. But showing that they already want to defend the top tower, I think they're willing to fight for every tower on the map. The question is, are TNC? They're getting a bit surprised here in mid. Have to pop the glyph.
Ice Blast up here. Support's arriving as well. The Ice Blast into the back lines. He'll connect over only on Fade. Kuko and Armel TP'd into the side trees with Tims. But Vici is fine with this. There's still going to be a 2-2 rune trade. Yang still building up, and if TNC want to fight, Vici are more than ready. Level 2 Omni Slash. The Manta Style is freshly done over on Paparazzi. Ori with the Yule Scepter knows he's able to control or potentially escape. The only thing they're really missing from this fight is kind of Fade's Blink Dagger. Then it feels a lot better for Vici. Then there's that initiation you were talking about.
And they don't have to brute force this mid tower, but what they're accomplishing by going there is they're forcing TNC to react, and that means they're not making their own moves. So it's the good old saying, right? Sometimes a good offense is the best defense. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Something like that. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, other way around.
No, but it was the same thing I said, just in the other order. But anyway, you get what I mean. You play aggressive, and in return, you end up defending your mid lane. Because every time they make the move first and TNC react, it's a win, as long as they're farming, too. So stretch that as far as you can, right? You know you're not playing the highest stun teamfight lineup, but if you can get skirmishes going and make TNC move after you, it's good news.
TNC still have more time to wait before they can fight. We actually thought the Kuku might go the Blink Dagger. We went Veil and now is going into the Blink, so still feels like it needs both items. Almost the downside about Vici Gaming, yeah, you could farm up inside your own jungle, but because these tier 1 towers have been taken out, there's some safer areas for TNC to farm on bottom lane, because Vici don't want to keep pressuring this. In fact, Vici, they're looking for their own kind of movement. TNC is smoked up looking for something on bottom lane. No one's coming to contest that. Once again, Vici arrive at the tier 1 tower at mid.
Did you notice TNC's movement there? They started making their own move toward bottom. Vici started pushing it toward mid, and they have to cycle back in again.
Ice Blast, no! Full stop! Pushes Yang out, saving himself. And now the Ancient Apparition trapped underneath the Juggernaut. Sand King is dying in the backlines too. The Maldek, I think, is actually going to end up popping him off camera. Yep, that's what happens. Your Scepter is just the catch-up. Armel can't move anywhere with the LP. TNC are playing stuck in the mud, and no one wants to run through their legs.
Perfect fight from them.
Radiant's middle
If
tower
Yang
is
could have
under
somehow
attack.
not been clipped by the Ice Blast, that's the ideal fight. But they still got that on him, so they get the 1 kill. But again, TNC trying to move bottom, Vici immediately pressure mid, TNC cross back, and then they lose that fight and the tower. And it doesn't look like much with a 2k gold lead, but this kind of lineup hits this point of critical mass when Jugger becomes a monster. He is so far ahead already, 2,000 gold ahead of the Lifestealer. And if you keep letting this guy farm up, give him an Aegis, he's an excellent high ground sieger too.
And he's always got so many damn stacks. And we're actually seeing this moment again. So the RP, while the Omni Slash was still going, just gives Paparazzi that triple kill. It's like, yep, okay, nice, nice.
Ice Blast top.
Yeah, looking for Fate. Avalanche, toss combination. This is what TNC wanted. Even though the Blink Dagger gets bought by Fate, he won't lose any money, but they need to be aggressors.
Okay.
Now Lifestealer caught out. He'll reach up quickly. Just wants to run out, but he cannot make it to the creep. The Death Ward able to continue to reach out, not to mention all the Ori pop. And that's the first reveal of the Shadow Blade too. He only just got this.
Yeah, this is not that common of a Lina build nowadays, but immediately put to use for a great kill. It's a good way for them to catch the Queen of Pain as well, and another escape tool. So, yeah, it seems like every time TNC get even a little bit going for them. It's like, yay, we got this mag kill. Oh, we lost our carry. So
Yeah.
the trade-off once again against them. Now it's a 3k gold lead for Juggernaut. Well, what do you know? He gained another 1,000 in 1 minute because of the kill on the Lifestealer.
And he's almost finished his Skadi. Like, we're 20 minutes in. He's got enough to pick up the ultimate. Ob just needs the money for the point booster now. Ice Blast is flying again. This one will be short. If it did connect, Tim's was there ready to go, but he'll deward this entry instead. Just pressure being applied on all sides. Cuckoo's trying to keep him out of the bottom. He also now has the Blink as well as Veil. Gonna bring in this team fight from TNC. And if it's just not a team fight, at least a pick-off.
It's starting to feel a little bit tricky right now. I think they're gonna wait for the Lifestealer Radiance, and then that's a timing that they want to try to find a team fight.
They have other items, though, which let them fight. Like, obviously, Ancient Apparition is able to enable Tims. As long as they have a setup and he can go from range with the Ice Blast. But the Orchid build over on Queen of Pain, this comes around the 20-minute mark. Is there enough momentum in TNC to actually justify an Orchid pickup?
It's just not very good, this game, is it? Like, Juggernaut has Manta Style, he can remove it. The Lina has Shadow Blade and Usuals, she can remove it. And the Enchantress has Force Staff, so if she gets Orchid, she can reposition herself.
Yep.
There's just very limited plays with this item. I think, sure, maybe you can get the Magnus or you can get the Witch Doctor, but it's not the way you want to start the fight going on the Witch Doctor. So it's a bit tricky for TNC, honestly. Like, when this Radiance comes out, let's see what they're gonna do, because it's one thing to have the tools to fight with. Will you find the fight too? You can't just go to a tower and be like, hey, Vici, come at us. We're stronger than you, come fight us, because your tower push is atrocious. It's pretty bad. Like, Lifestealer needs maybe a Desolator before he truly starts hitting these towers, and he can't realistically commit Rage to do tower damage, because then he exposes himself to getting killed off afterwards.
And he's not going Desolator yet. The Radiance just got completed and Armor's next to the quick
yeah. I mean, he wouldn't go Deso second item anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just,
It just means it's that time you now have to wait.
This time right now is when TNC's strategy is meant to be ahead and destroying the opponent, and it missed. It just didn't happen. So now you're back on recovery mode, plan B.
Vici's ready to fight. They smirk up. 4 heroes together. Should also flag BTs on Ori, so he's going up to the top lane to push it out, but it's Fade gonna look for the jump in towards mid. Tim's hiding in the tree lines with Vici Gaming. Just move a little bit to the side. Tims reveals himself, quick blink away.
Broke the smoke on Mag, but they didn't see him.
Okay, extra TP coming in from Cuckoo. Arriving under the Shrine, 4-man smoke from TNC. Probably feeling that they have an opportunity, and they definitely do. Blink, Fire Strike, combining with the Ice Blast. Enchantress very much good out. The 4-star will dodge the Ice Blast, but the Solid Wave has to commit. Put him down. Tims catches D1 in the back lines. And that's what TNC want. A chaotic split from Vici Gaming. Not in the position that Vici wanted to fight.
Yep, they couldn't RP there. And the easy heroes caught off. The Enchantress dies very quickly if she gets hit by all this magic burst. See what he is quick by. wants a
Radiant's
cloak,
bottom
just
tower
any
is under
metal
attack.
resistance value that you can get right now to try to stay alive. So it's good kill, but still tower damage. The wave's still not good, and they're going to be forced back.
Vici's going to look to find the second the tower again. It's a double damage. Ari actually gave his bottle over to Juggernaut, so they're able to bottle this DD for as long as they can.
Oh, quick question from Coop.
Oh, he realized he was underneath the sentry. But this battle for Vision's definitely kicking in now. DY already more than sentry, but they can observe war. Information around Roshan begins. Can the team really go into the pit though? Like, can they actually take Roshan without? It feels like there's enough of an answer to whoever is first to start it.
If you go there as Vici, you're kind of risking a lot, because if an Ice Blast flies on top of you, you're setting up the Sand King to jump in, you could suddenly see multiple heroes in the pit. And if you're TNC, you go in there, well, you have another problem. You can't kill the first very fast. So
let's see how much damage Ari has got. Tim's actually able to get the avalanche off. Moves into the tree line. Needs 2 seconds. 1 second. Got attacked. Just tosses Tim's away. Needs some more time. Dodging. No, he can't. Here comes the rest of the support. Paparazzi, Yang, they've arrived and Tim's will die in the trees. But there's still a 5-man commitment from VG Gaming coming to the bottom lane to kill off the support.
Yeah, they're gonna leave Jugger down here to push the tower, and then I reckon they might rotate the Enchantress up once her TP is ready to try to make a fight top as well. Jugger has his ready.
Yeah, look how fast Ori has moved over. Instantly stunned with Laguna Blade. RP comes out. You are going nowhere, Armel. They just used every stun available, and the Life Stealer, who was just around the corner, still was just like, I cannot help.
He can't help. The guy I was looking for to help there when they jump in is the Sand King, but he was showing in mid, so it made it very easy for Vici Gaming to make the decision to go. As soon as you see this is something we've talked about on previous casts in this TI as well, is the problem you have when you're playing without save is you have to be extra wary of what heroes you're showing there, because you can't buy the time. If your guy gets jumped when you're splitting in multiple lanes, there's nobody who's going to protect this Queen of Pain and keep her from dying. Sand King is your best bet, but he's mid.
That Observer Ward, they're trying to use it again to get the initiation off. There's still 30 seconds before the runes are up, but they see that double damage Juggernaut, and they're definitely thinking twice, but there's no RP available. And now the jump comes in, a Bar Strike being used defensively from Cuckoo. They're really running scared here, TNC.
Yeah.
Like, if this was TNC with confidence, they would have just instantly gone. That's a double Bar Strike into possible RP into, like, glory.
I don't know if it's that easy. If they're all there,
if you're TNC, your eyes light up for it.
If they're all there and they hit all spells, maybe. But you've got to be super wary with. If you're committing on Jugger and you don't kill him, he's going to turn around and kill 2 or 3 heroes with Omni Slash. Like, that's the kind of Juggernaut game this is right now. He's just so far ahead of everybody else, and they know it too. It's very obvious in the game that Paparazzi are way ahead of the curve. And TNC, I agree with you. They should be trying to find that TNC let's go spirit, but there's always 2 teams in the game, and if the other team doesn't present an easy opportunity, it's easier said than done. Vici Gaming are not giving them many openings to take a fight.
TNC keep a close eye on Roshan, because that's the opportunity that they're really hoping for. Vici feel confident they can move inside the pit, and it gives TNC that clustered team fight that they need to force VG into. Well, it ain't happening for the moment. Paparazzi just continues to farm up. That butterfly is rapidly approaching. Ari's having the same type of thing. BKB is done.
That's huge, this game.
Oh, he's going to steal the Arcane Ring from right in front of a Cuckoo. You'll Scepter up. Ari's going to hit the Light Strike array, but a Pyro Strike does get Cuckoo into a relatively safe position.
And Vici Gaming just keep gaining on the map. They keep split pushing, they keep farming with their Empower. They'll constantly nuke out the mid wave with the Lina. Top lane, doesn't really matter. There's nothing up there right now. Tims will still go there because it's the best play he has on the map is to push this and hope to force a reaction that can ultimately set them up for some sort of skirmish or fight. But again, the pushing threat is not very serious. And therefore Vici Gaming are totally fine with just clearing out the map every 30 seconds, get whatever they want, and play for bounty runes. But right now, they're choosing to smoke. They're seeing an opportunity. Lina's not here. She's showing top, and that's what's kind of setting up their play. TNC, false feeling of safety here.
They just de-water both the Orbs and the Sentry, but Avalanche toss with the Ice Blast. This would be a kill. It's over on DY, but it's DY. He'll buy back. He's a support. That's not what they wanted, but you'll take what you can get.
I honestly think trading his life away for D-Ward is worth it. he is worth less than a ward in this situation, because as long as TNC are playing in the dark, the moves that they need to make are exceptionally difficult to execute. And Vici Gaming can constantly just play around this Roshan area to pose this threat of killing the Rosh or of invading their jungle. The smoke from Vici Gaming, obviously in that instance, did not work out, so that's a bit of a minor win for TNC, but
yeah,
no progression being made as to what will end up winning them this game. There's only one type of play really left that will win them the game, and that's that big team fight where they get the jump. The skirmishes don't really exist anymore, and maybe you can get one pick up here or there, maybe get a Witch Doctor, maybe get an Enchantress, but it doesn't cut it. You gotta aim bigger.
Because there's no sustained damage going through the butterfly. Like it's going to be difficult. So jump in, magical burst, just kill off whoever you can. Back up, reset, go again. But eventually they'll need to have an answer to Paparazzi. They'll need to have an answer to this insane level of farm that he's managed to achieve.
As the butterfly purchased, he's going to go top, start pushing out, get him power.
28 minutes in.
He has 60 armor.
Sure.
He's ice armor by what? Ench creep.
Ench creep.
Where's that?
The other side.
He probably lost it. He's been taking many creeps as a wolf right now.
Cuckoo under the cover of smoke. Yang, man, that feels like bait. Cuckoo blinks up. Burrow strikes. Here comes your ice blast coming in with the full stuff. Orange is pushed away. So is Fade, but he will silence up, so no RP available for him. And maybe with Tim's control on the back line, TI9 can't do enough to really stop him. Here comes Gabby once again, looking for his target, but the Omni Slash, the damage is ridiculously good. Tim has been pushed away. He does have the life stealer inside of him. The downhill fall from the ground with the impetus. It does a lot of damage. He has to hide in the pit. 2, 1, now Blink away to safety. Taking Gabby with him.
We're so close to getting one swing in. If they get a hit on the Tiny, they both die. Huge for TNC to get out of that mess. They still didn't really win the exchange, but at the very least, it wasn't a complete disaster.
Vortex is giving some information. Tim's just had to toss his tree in, but with the Vortex, Tim's, you can see him. He knows he's got an Observer and Sentry around the side, but wait, he didn't realize there was a dire Observer. He'll try and dodge the stuns, throws out the Avalanche. Here comes your Ice Blast as well. You got to find inside the pit. Tim's the only one hit by that, and that's an ally. Gabby, how can he get away? 3 seconds till Infest. Up the hill, continues to raid, continues to toggle, and he does have the distance. All right, time jump to Dragon. That'll be a little bit more immune. Tim's, he's in it once again. Another huge Avalanche, but where's the follow-up? Yang, Paparazzi, Ori, they're still up on the high ground. A double Burrow strike from Cuckoo is buying space for Tim's. He's just hiding inside the trees. Stay away from him, Yang. No, not gonna happen. Trees are not safety. Tiny will buy back once again. Underneath the shrine, deep wide. He's trapped down. Gabby able to get back-to-back kills, but Tim's, who does he want? He's still realizing that there's just vision absolutely everywhere, but now Armel jumps in once more. Looking for a target, won't happen.
So patient outside. He's just waiting on the low ground for TNC to make any misstep so he can blink RP with that empowered Jugger.
Back to Roshan. SK prepping the MP, blinks forward. It's the Burrow strike. Over towards Lena. He's under his own sentry ward, so he feels okay inside this sandstorm. But still, both the abilities from Ori able to connect. Fade looking for the skewer, blindly attempting to drag him away. But it won't happen.
Still overall a net gain for Vici Gaming in these last 2 minutes with tons of fighting. They're still the ones coming out on top. TNC using buybacks on both the AA as well as the Tiny. And keep in mind, Vici Gaming took these fights without using RP.
Yep.
So it can get worse than that very quickly. You've got to be super mindful of your positioning.
But that's also props to TNC for their positioning. Here we go again for Roshan. Tim's not realizing the dire Observe ward was on top of the hill, but great force staff, getting some distance. But they were definitely looking for the fight on Roshan. That's why that AA blast ended up in the pit, not out the front of it. Don't know how you can actually highlight that entire thing, because it kept going on for a good minute and a bit.
That's very long.
But the Saturmine Steel is watching Roshan. This Observer and Sentry actually down from the Radiant, just north of the pit. That's actually what gave Tani his confidence to do what he did, but now it's going to get dewarded out. We've got a Gem of True Sight over on Ori. No more hiding. Ice Blast coming in. D-White, 4-star, tries to just push him out. Not chilled up the RP. It does catch out Gabby. He's raised up the Sonic Wave. It's huge from Armel. He blinks in with a scream. Cuckoo needs some distance. Burrow strike coming up cooldown. Now he'll die through the middle of the burrow. And TNC have been fighting in to VG Gaming and eventually had to bite him in the butt. One support, the 2 cores, 3 cores.
It feels so hard to play Queen of Pain in this situation. You want to blink in, you want to cast your spells, but you're just exposing yourself to jump off.
Start back out again. Take the paralyzing cast. Where do you think you're going? A bonus right! Huge from Cuckoo! Combining with Gabby! He actually gets him first! And also the Icon Paparazzi! It doesn't clip him! He's just fast enough, but it's not fast enough to run away from Gabby! He's just gonna stay right on the back of that one and move to the next target! Enchantress just above Roshan! Ori's trying to force Gabby away inside the jungle and down the hill! Another Yule Scepter! Up he goes! Life Striker Ray fall! Won't happen! Rage is there to protect Gabby! As TNC are on the retreat, now it's TNC who forced the buybacks out from Vici, Jugger, Mag, and Witch Doctor all committing them.
That was huge from them. This combination is massively important for the outcome of this game. If they are to win, that's the player that did it.
They're going to finish Roshan. RP's down, so they're feeling confident about this.
And I think Vici are going to let them have it. They can.
Oh, watch Fade, watch Fade, watch Fade. He wants to jump in, and okay, no, don't stop watching Fade. It ain't going to happen anymore.
I stopped watching Fade a moment ago. Alright.
Okay, maybe we should start watching him again. He may actually go down. Overstaying is welcome. The Ice Blast comes in. He'll shatter with a burst ride from Cuckoo. They keep the control up. And Fade dead for a very long time. He committed the buyback before, so TNC, the fresh Vegas in hand, they're going to push down mid.
Yep. No RP for 60 seconds. And that's the big teamfight tool that they have to be scared of when they're playing into Vici Gaming. But now that it's not available, sure, there's this strong Jugger, but he doesn't have Empower. Empower is dead, RP is dead. They might just choose to go high ground with this. It's not going to be that easy, but it's easily the best opportunity they've had all game to do something big.
They need some good wave clear now, VG Gaming. And it looks like TNC, they're not going to push the issue. They're coming back. They're looking towards the jungle. The Juggernaut's already grabbed the bottom lane. He's going to push out with his Manta units.
Man, I would have loved to see them go high ground there. I think this is a missed opportunity. I don't think it's going to get much easier than this. You have this Aegis for 5 minutes. You can start poking this tower, see what you can get out of it while Empower is not there. Now instead, you're going to be facing Vici Gaming at more than likely full force when it happens again. I reckon they will be smoking for the Bounty Rune fight. Potentially, if there is a smoke available. There is one on DY. He's not pulling it out, though, just yet.
No, he's spending his time taunting in front of the tier 3 tower with Paparazzi. Just like, okay, guys, let's get back into this. They're actually pinging out where they believe the Observer Ward is, and they're actually 100% right. The sentry is in range, but someone needs to actually cut through the tree before they'll see it. But don't worry, that's why DY's got a Quelling Blade. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Wow, it's actually going to stay there. All right. And that's 4 runes for TNC as well.
Tim's grabs the top one now. X put to work with Lacuna Blade. Ice Blast flying forward. Ori moves away. But the money starts rolling in. Not that much though. Like, we're still changing the graph around. It's about 12,500 be the net worth going the way of TNC. It's back to around 7.5k.
It's back
the
to 5.
Experience is swinging up too. It's actually kicking. Yeah, it is. The graph is not keeping up with the board above.
And the win expectancy went from clearly in Vici Gaming's favor to actually slightly favoring TNC now all of a sudden. Big loss from Vici Gaming in the last 5 minutes.
Still feels like VG have a lot to work with, though.
They do, absolutely.
Because they just reset and start this all over again. You've lost a little bit of map control, but you've got everything you need for a team fight.
You do, but if this Roshan situation doesn't happen, you've got the game completely under control. And instead, you open up an opportunity for TNC to get a couple of kills and an Aegis, and suddenly they now, it's not just, you know, they're getting towers because of this. They got the mid-tier 2, they're getting the top tier 2 when everything was on lock. The map is going to feel open. And there's right now it feels like there's a lot of pressure on Fade on his Magnus this game. He's super good on this hero, but if you're playing against world-class teams, it can be difficult to find that great RP. It doesn't have to be multiple heroes necessarily, but it needs to find the right guy that he can connect the Jugger to, kill with Omnislash, and snowball the fight from there.
Man, Tim's, you're living life on the edge when you go and do that. He just, oh, TY, Fade. Can't get close enough to him. They knew he was up in the trees. He avalanched the Juggernaut underneath the tier 3 tower. Blinks, 4-stars, TPs, and Nomi barely gets out. But you're definitely seeing like that kind of play. That's confidence there from TNC. That's them looking to have Tim's jump in and not even just try and find something now. but always make Vici Gaming look behind them.
Yep.
Play the erratic style of Dota that TNC is able to crush teams with.
So what big... Oh, they saw the smoke. They never dewarded the ward, and they actually smoked at this exact spot. TNC know it's coming. This could be huge for them. They can bait the Lifestealer with the Aegis in front.
Where do you fight? Where do they want to be?
On their own high ground. If they run into Lifestealer, he can just straight run into them and start this fight off.
It seems like a very odd place to throw down a sandstorm, though, because if Vici Gaming see this, it's like, this tornado does not look natural.
Alina does have the Scythe to open with, and they do have the BKB and Enchantress as well, so these new toys for Vici Gaming can become very useful. Also, BKB on Jugger, 10 seconds on him, but they don't find any opening.
No, but they did see the Kobold Soldier moving around, which kind of told them that TNC was up near the shrine, or at least one player was. So they were a little bit more cautious about moving forward. So just leave 2 Observer Wards behind. But yeah, man, they really need to find that. The Observer Ward's like, it's 1 minute and 42 seconds away from full duration, but it has definitely done its job. Now TNC can look to fight on their own terms.
Yep.
Lifestealer for the first time as well has actually cracked the top 3, or the top 2 in the net worth position. I say that as Ori just gets a little bit more farm. It's like,
but yeah, he's caught up, right?
Yeah.
That's...
You're keeping up with it with the Magnus empowered lineup. Obviously, Ori doesn't get anywhere near as much from it.
Aegis down.
Yep. Waited out the time.
And this mid lane is being a bit annoying for Vici Gaming. We'll have to deal with it. They're actually going to TP back the Magnus, just full on retreat. We're not going to push out any more than this. We got it across the river and a little bit further on bottom. Time to take care of the lanes. Stabilize again so we don't get caught. And just farm the triangle as well with Jugger every minute when it respawns.
It feels like a lot of safety. Yeah. So only a couple of years ago when TNC actually came to the playoffs at TI, they started just toppling down teams because they thought, okay, yeah, we'll just keep fighting in them. We'll fuel the beast. And VG understand, they just got to change the tempo up. What was it? Like BHA was saying, like, as long as you can control up the map area, you will forever scale with this Empower buff up.
Yeah.
But when do you reach the limit? When does Paparazzi hit a point where it's like, okay, I cannot grow anymore?
Well, it's not only Paparazzi, right? It's not the classic way of thinking about Magnus and Power with these other 2 heroes, but both Enchantress and Lina are actually hitting hard. Lina went for a physical build. Went this hybrid where he started with the Euls and Shadowblade, and now he's transitioning with Fiery Soul Stack talent, attack range talent, health, so he's more sustainable in the fights, and now he's going Daedalus. So you empower this guy, he's going to hit like a truck as well. And that's the kind of hero that Lifestealer doesn't like to face in late game. It's one that has massive range, can hit him from anywhere he wants, and actually force him out of the fight during rage. That is the worst case for him. And another smoke. Man, these smokes just seem to not be working in this game. Like, nobody is finding anything. They're trying, but Vici are on the exact opposite side of the map.
And the only ones from VG who were even in a position where you could have gone was Ori, who was under the cover of Shadowblade and has a Gem of Truth side. So,
yeah.
Like, how does TNC smoke when they can't even keep their vision game up? So I like it from VG's warding. What do? They control up the bottom half of, like, literally the bottom half of their side. Like a little early warning detection plus anything that comes near the trading camp, and then a very, very defensive ward on the hillside, watching the mid, making sure there's no gank in the lane. Everything else, they're just leaving to TNC.
It's sort of like a roughly 50-50 split of the map.
Yeah.
So not really too much advantage going either way.
But no one has vision on the other side of the map, really, apart from that one observed ward, which is now timed out. Tims. He blinked up there. he'll force stuff down.
Ori's fast.
Ori's
real fast.
5 seconds. Here's the Eul Scepter up and towards the air. Light Striker connects. Nice. And we'll see just how tanky Tims can be. Supports arrive from Paparazzi. Death Ward also being committed. And Tims protected by the Ghost Scepter, but that amplifies up for Laguna from Ori.
Leave the game.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, leave it for 100 seconds. TNC. Okay, so you just lost one. What's your reaction? All right, let's group up and try and fight. Cuckoo's ready in the tree lines. Fade, he's going to walk into them, the sentry ward. Okay, no, blink into the lane instead. Fade has dust available, so if he wants to jump, he can.
Enchantress far away, though, and they're not really interested in fighting without her. So what they will accomplish is exactly what's being drawn by Tims right now. This is where they are. They own this part of the map. We need to start pushing out the bottom side, so they're starting to rotate all their heroes bottom. And in the meantime, Paparazzi and Ori will start pushing out mid with the hope of getting the mid-tier 2 tower and protecting Roshan, which is currently being ice blasted.
He's 1 minute away from spawning.
Yep.
But Vici Gaming, well, if no one's going to defend mid, they'll take the tier 2 tower. Seems easy enough. Paparazzi claims the last hit. And the pressure on bottom lane will be able to reach the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. That's actually not taking a single point of damage. Vici Gaming's off lane tower, Tims. Fire strikes forward, live stealer, being very patient. The paparazzi just, yep, fortification actually gets wasted. There's no real creep wave with them. So they just burn it. It does help the push on bottom lane a little bit, but that's it.
I think the backdoor protection was not kicking in at all. They had a creep wave before, but maybe Paparazzi would have still been scared to continue going. I think the glyph was what made him back off. So you have to scare him away somehow.
Vici still want to try and fight. They've got this great Observer Ward and Sentry down. There's just no way that TNC can surprise them by moving up. In fact, right now, Cuckoo playing around that exact vision. The RP holding on Scepter. The missed timing. This is not good for VG Gaming. Now they can fire a strike and turn around to the backline. Enchantress and Witch Doctor already dead. Who's the next target? TP out from Vayne. No, he can't do it. There's a Yaw Scepter from Queen of Pain. That'll cancel that one out. So Mag will try and run. With the bash on Juggernaut. He can't TP out. Not with the spin. The Burrow Strike won't even catching Orient Tim with another double stun. And just back to back to back stunning. Paparazzi. He'll go up in the air once again. Is there a follow-up connector? There's another bash out from Gabby. He just keeps letting it rip his tip. Burrow strikes forward. What else sneak up? There's a sonic wave from Armel to bringing down Paparazzi and Witch Doctor. It'll be a die back for DY. Cuckoo's not done yet. He Burrow strikes forward, but he cannot connect on the leader. One small mistake from VG Gaming and TNC pounce like the Tigers they are.
Ooh, that RP, Toby, that was not good. That was not good from Fade. He wanted to catch the Sand King before the Yule, but they mistimed it completely. I'm sure we're going to get a replay of this, but
I'm sure we will. This is Roshan's going to go down to
that is worst case scenario. You want to RP the Lifestealer so you can Omni-Slash him. Instead, he tries to RP the Sand King and misses. We're going to see it here. So, just barely. Wait, was that even his own Yule? I think it was, and not Delina's, hopefully. But
it was the chase.
Unlucky on the Omni-Slash. He keeps continuing on the Lifestealer with that. Maybe he can even kill him off. And then the Bash too. Everything aligning for Gabby. He didn't have the MKB. He could have easily hit and missed some more attacks on the Butterfly, but they get the Bash and they get the good Omni-Slash RNG, and all of a sudden, TNC are in the lead.
And look what they do instantly too. Infest the Lifestealer into Cuckoo. He'll beat him to the bottom lane. They want to start taking some of these towers. The Ice Blast is checking the tree line, so Gabby, he's just got a little bit of extra cover. Don't have a Tinker Ward, use an Ice Blast. They want to remove all these outer towers, and to think like VG Gaming's early pressure, they're going to be the first team to actually lose all outer towers. TNC still hold their tier 2 tower on top lane.
Yep.
I'm liking this item pickup. Aeon Disc from Enchantress, because she seems to just be going on and just blasted. Not even a chance for a BKB.
You need to find a way for Lina to start the fight, I think. You can't rely on the RP, and you can't really rely on any of that. That's the limitation of the lineup that we've talked about, is that they don't have very much in the way of catch. Lina has the Hex, so you need to fight in vision, start with the Hex, follow up, and when TNC respond, that's when you can get that big RP. For now, TNC still seem unable to push high ground, but they made up so much ground in terms of the economy.
Oh yeah, we've moved from a 13,000 to now a 7,000, 8,000 advantage for TNC, but the experience graph swings 25 grand. It's looking good for TNC, but can they still hold it? There's still the chance that Vici Gaming, obviously they're a world-class team. If they just get one good fight, we can swing back the other way.
It's a Magnus game. You can't fall asleep at any point. You need to non-stop watch the positioning of your cores. Unless Fade sets you up for success, then you don't need to watch for it. So he has to be a little bit more patient. Just don't jump for these reckless RPs. Even if he lands that on the Sand King and they kill him, he could just buy back and TP on his shrine, and then you don't have an RP for that fight. So no matter how you look at it, that is not the way you approach this fight.
Ice Blast coming in. Paparazzi's in trouble. The Fire Strike's already connected. Quick forced up. Gets Paparazzi further away. He's able to get to the spin, but Fade, he had to sacrifice himself. That's also the gem of True Strike being lost from VG without the buyback available. Paparazzi will move up, but Yang also forced off back inside the base. No RP available. BKB burnt on the Juggernaut. Watch that buyback marker. 3 of them are in the red for VG Gaming because 3 of them are all on cooldown. But it's the 2 bigger cores from VG that have that second life.
Great heads-up play from Armel. The moment they went on that guy, he jumped and silenced the Magnus.
And Yang's burning so much mana just to get this little harassment damage into Gabby. They'll pick him up. Protection is there from Aeon Disc. Man, yeah. And hey, remember, he's still got the AOC model, so he's fine to take it.
Yep. Vici are doing everything they can to buy time. They're even sending down a converted Lifestealer Illusion down the mid lane. And that will actually force Cuckoo back. He has travels, though.
Yeah, he can come straight back again.
But it's buying that time. Every second right now is about getting Magnus up and alive. You've lost so much damage when this guy is dead. And powers for Jugger, and power for Ench, and power for Lina, and that RP. It's very, very important.
Fun item for Paparazzi to finish. Refresher Orb just sitting in the backpack for the moment. He needs everything to find, but I think he also understands, like, Juggernauts really fall off once they've already burned the Omni Slash. Yeah. Now he's able to have it twice, as well as the BKB twice.
I think he's going to activate his Omni Slash, and then he's going to swap it in for Phase Boots, and then refresh and go for it again, or swap it in. You've got to swap it in for Phase.
Yeah.
Any of the other items.
He needs everything else. Jang, there's your jump in. Ice Blast is coming in towards the Enchantress. The force up will get around. Paparazzi already the spin. Armel's in pretty deep. BKB also bashed up, stunned up, maybe a little too deep. Armel down. He never even was able to trigger the cheese. X over on Gabby with the good play. The RP from Bane. It'll connect. The double light strike for Ray. Stunned up for Dane. The TNC. Too deep. Gabby will try and run back up the hill. Bane wants to stay with him. He actually infested. He blinks up to the side. Tim's. How many times can he be the get out jail free card? Underneath the Tyrant's Overlord. They see him. The back into Paparazzi. Back in the fight. You'll end up losing Fate once again. But he's the sacrificial lamb. Ori's moved in with his own hex, controlling Tim's on the sideline. They'll have to finish one then the other. Or Gabby could just go full Artur. Trying to actually get more kills. He's picked up the support. Now they're going to focus on him. Tim's ready for his own combination. He'll jump in for the 3-man avalanche. Passes Gabby. Wants to fight. The others making different to find kills. Ori protected by the BKB, but Gabby gets the bash shot. Still trying to fight this one out. Has he got the damage with the bash on Yang? Gabby wants to be the real immortal. They'll turn back over to Tim's. VG Gaming. They just can't decide who they want to kill. The TP out from Lifesteal will be successful at 400 HP. Tim's, can he get out as well? Back past the creep wave. They can't reach him. They're away.
How many Lifesteal moments do we need in this tournament? I mean, sure, he doesn't get a but they kited. That was like a 30, 40 second kiting, basically, and they both get out alive. Beautifully done by TNC, apart from the part where they dove the base and went too deep.
The face from Gabby, yeah!
But the end of it was cool, so... Bounty rune time.
You know, this game started off looking like it could be a very one-sided affair from VG Gaming, but here they go again. But Gabby is there. He'll get the hit. The Abyssal Blade's done. Plus the follow-up. Ice Blast. Well, the Yourceptor will kick in, but straight back down again to death.
The confidence from TNC to send these heroes up there. They're playing 3-on-5 right now in that situation. If there were more heroes from Vici Gaming, that could have been a travesty. They could have just died, both of them. But they took the risk. They get the rune and a kill. And it's a big kill too. It's the Lina. That's for 80 seconds. This is a bit of a moment of opportunity. No Roshan, of course, but you can at least re-establish map control.
You still have Juggernaut forcing out the lanes, and Paparazzi is still the biggest hero on the map. Gabby is definitely getting good. We're actually seeing this whole little chase again, but you are getting the Abyssal Blade timing arriving for the Juggernaut. He doesn't have enough of a surplus to buy the entire thing, but the other damage is also arriving. The Daedalus is now done for Ori. It felt like an age ago that he started to build into this. But at least it's done. He decided to get the control with the Hex first.
There's more than enough damage on Vici Gaming's lineup. It's about if they can keep heroes in place and kill them. The lifesteal is a problem. Okay. He's kiting them. There's Force Staff, there's Yules, there's...
So why you're seeing Magnus building into a Refresher Orb as well?
Yeah, that's a bit vicious.
I just need a second RP, but that's a lot of money.
You don't need the second one, you just need the first one. just hit it.
If at first you don't succeed.
Just do it, dude. Just RP them. Easier said than done.
Yeah, that sounds like your pub games.
Yeah. Why don't you RP the whole team? But absolutely, Fate. This has not been Fate's best game, though. To be fair, he's had some questionable decisions, and it's also in part been because they consider him a save in the sense that Jugger will go in front. They're going to turn him around and force him away, and then, well, guess what? Fate just gets blink orchided by Quap and killed off. Where it's happened 2 or 3 times. Whenever Mag gets caught by the Queen, it's a huge play for TNC, and I think Fate should be itemizing for that situation. I think getting a Yule Scepter in this game would be very, very useful.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to be planning for it. He's going for the big item that's just so far away.
It's kind of hoping the TNC is just going to fight directly
there's a
into them.
nullifier.
But Vici Gaming, yeah, they're looking for a big fight if they can claim one. But with the nullifier and lifesteal, someone may be disabled up. But Yang's bringing an Aghanim Scepter into this fight. They're able to get the range. The Exo, they need to get this quick kill over on Cuckoo. He's been such a problem for them with a blink skewer back. They have him dead for 100 seconds. Roshan will respawn in 1 minute and 15 seconds. That'll be the next timing to watch, but you still need to get control of the lanes. TNC, they're pushed out top, they're pushed out bottom.
And they're infesting.
Well, there she, of course, you're one player down. What do you do with your TNT? Let's go and fight. Do they use any major abilities? No. Does that matter? No. I think the surplus is almost enough for the Juggernaut to buy the Abyssal Blade. Feels like Paparazzi kind of needs that. So much space is being created by Gabby just by getting this initial jump in with Burrow Strike, the perfectly timed Abyssal Blade, and then he's even getting bashes on top of this. Just because of that insane attack speed he's able to achieve.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure about Ori going for this MKB instead of maybe a Lincoln Sphere. For that exact reason. Like, you're getting blink stunned and you die in the fight. That's just the life of Lina late game. You're not a tanky enough hero, or Tim's.
Well, he's just sitting there in lane.
He's
looking
trying
to play
for
it
it.
out. How much damage have you got, Ori? Putting it to the test from inside the trees. Needs a little bit more. Goes in, will protect the rest of VG around Roshan, but Ori's just going to do this solo. Tim's is down.
Very nicely done. That
And
was,
Roshan spawning in 3 seconds time.
I think that was actually a perfect kill. I don't think he could have done anything better.
Look at this from VG. They know Yang's the one that could be protected thanks to his Aeon Disc. They'll get rid of that vision of TNC around Roshan. And they're actually going for more. They're coming over. 4-star Finn. That long range damage, but that's why Glimmer Cape, level of protect is available, but he comes in range with the that Aghanim Scepter buff up with him power.
So
and Yang
hard.
just
Impetus talent, damage talent, and power, the 2 range items. He 3-shot the AA.
now they go for Roshan. Nope, Ori wants to finish that top tier 2 tower with Paparazzi. The creep wave will probably do it for them. Well, they're coming back over. They want Roshan still. And the creep wave actually doesn't do it. You've got Cuckoo and now Mel. They have an infested lifestealer inside of Cuckoo. With the Gem of Truth side, what have we got? There's an Observer Ward to the north. There isn't a sentry, however, but Roshan's dying so quickly. If they don't jump now, they can never jump. Cuckoo looking for the moment. Go now. It's already too late. Aegis Immortal is taken. The cheese is up as well. Refresher Shark grabbed by the Enchantress. She won't want to keep that. That goes to the Magnus. That's how you get 2 RPs. Not buying a Refresher Orb. And he lines up the Shadow Blade instantly too.
That's how Fade was communicating with his team. He was like, I need this item. We need the 3rd Roche. My quick buy. If we don't get the 3rd Roche, guys, you know what I'm buying.
It's like, I can't buy a Refresher Orb, guys. I'm too broke.
Yeah.
That Observer and Sentry needs to get... Well, okay, well, they'll drop the Sentry anyway. A little bit forward. Yeah, you see the Obs, guys.
This Enchantress is starting to be a really big problem now. Since they can't kill it. Oh,
Catching out Ori.
that's a freebie.
And that's the Aegis Immortal gone. Infest Cuckoo, get me out of here. I need an evacuation chopper right now.
Great kill. Very nice.
Yeah, that's really going to put dampener in the sails of VG Gaming
Again.
again.
Feels like every time in the last 30 minutes that they have a huge
Ori, he's so close to all of TNC. Just after what happened, the Lincoln Sphere will break. They don't get the opportunity. Cuckoo just to drop the LP to the outside. It's Gabby. He needs that life. He's a life shield. Cuckoo yells him up, stun him up. Light Strike Array. Oh, get the following stun. Even if Cuckoo does change the position, Laguna Blade is out. Cuckoo is down. The Gem of True side has been
on Merrick. He's super ready to go. The call's been made. We're going to fight them again. Jugger, however, did not swap in his Refresher Orb, so doesn't have Omnislash ready in this RP.
No, but he's still got his BKB, and that's what he's probably thinking about.
Yep.
If he uses it already, he won't have the second immunity. First buyback comes in. It's going to be the SK. Paparazzi stays on the front lines. Spin will give him protection. Ice Blast will arrive. Tiny, the BKB from Paparazzi, gives him the protection to keep walking.
Oh, let's go!
It's 2-man RP. We'll try and push him away. Goes into protecting Tiz at the moment in the back. It's over on Queen of Fiji. Going to attack with a first strike. Layer it on. Fiji
TNC are looking for a push back the other way.
That is a perfect combo from TNC, but man, 3-man RP, you don't have Omni Slash? He had it in backpack, the refresher orb, he swaps it in, he refreshes, and then the fight is lost. If he has Omni Slash in that RP, I think Vici Gaming get 2 or 3 core kills. Instead now they're back with their backs against the wall.
2 buybacks burn. Gabby comes high ground.
That's just some, I don't know, it feels like miscommunication, right? Fade's like, we're gonna go for this, guys. We're gonna go, I'm using refresher, we're taking this fight. Paparazzi's like, okay, but I don't want to refresher my ulti. So if you get a great ulti, I mean, let's see if we can kill them all. And guess what? They couldn't. They needed an Omni Slash in that fight badly. And the combo from TNC was just sick too. You have to be very careful as Vici Gaming to fight into any high ground on the map, just because of how much of a sudden burst is just going to come out of nowhere. Epicenter with Veil, tiny combo, Ice Blast, Sonic Wave.
See what Tony's going for as well. He's got Octarine Call lined up with 9.2k sitting in the bank.
He should really buy it.
Yeah, he really should.
10,000 gold on this support.
Just give cheese over to somebody else.
Hello?
Yes.
Buy your item?
It's 3.4k.
Why is he not buying it? He's standing on the high ground.
It's a very good question, but
okay, he wants to kill the wave. Now he's gonna buy it. Surely, surely now he's buying it. Okay, he is actually buying it. Nope.
Wait, no. Yes? No. Hang on. Meanwhile, back at the mid-fight.
Hey, your entire item is... This like dude, we could be watching next to sells all the stuff you need.
We could be watching the double RP, but instead we're just watching the small screen at the bottom. But that Sonic Wave, that was sweet.
Perfect combo.
Combo the TNC was looking for. The hilarious thing is, too, like, Vici need to cluster for that to happen. A retreat down mid lane, that's what happens. You're still just watching him with almost 8k gold on himself now.
I'm striking. I'm not casting until he buys an item. Come on, dude.
Welcome to Cinder and Airlines, where you will not get flown.
10,000 gold, buy an item. I'm getting triggered. This reminds me of
Sentry, Yang. He's trying to get rid of it. They're coming out with a gem. They get rid of the sentry to begin with, but now Blink
that's right.
in through the rear. This is a huge kill. They can claim him, and they've got him. Juggernaut is down. Buyback is available. Yang's having a hard time walking away. The cold feet slowing him up. Tim's going in once again. He won't kill you with damage. He'll kill you with 10,000 gold.
Maybe he thinks he does more damage the more gold he has.
What is this, gambler?
Yeah.
Actually, wait, that was his ability, right?
Yeah, he had something that was the whole hero was built around gold.
Hence called the gambler.
Oh, okay, he changed his mind. Now he wants to not buy an Aghanims. Yep, indeed. He's just gonna walk past the okay.
Oh, Tim's, get something, please. Buy a moonshot for somebody else.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Gabby will take a moonshot.
He has 9,000 surplus. The explanation has to be he's really unsure what the best item is. He just can't decide what he wants.
Can we just we need to have a conference. The fate of TNC must be decided in a committee.
Okay, so let's think about it for a second. Maybe he's debating if he should go be another core in the game, because he has so much gold that he can actually go Axe Daedalus, for example, and do massive physical damage into the Jugger. Because he was hovering the Octarine, and he was like, maybe this is a better way of doing it. Okay, he's gonna buy the Axe.
Okay.
And Daedalus.
That's because Ancient Apparition has already bought his Aghanim Scepter, so he's waiting for the big surprise combination.
He was waiting to have the gold for everything at once.
Yes.
He checked, he pulled out his calculator. It's like, what is... I don't remember how much expensive these items are.
Plus a surplus of 900 gold. It's all part of the plan. This is why you don't question a pro player.
He was hovering an Octarine core for like 3 minutes before.
Okay, that's why you question a pro player.
But yeah, okay, Tim's is dangerous.
Okay, back to the focus.
So much damage now.
Tim's does a crap ton. He doesn't have a Faceless Void to combo with, but that's fine. We're 62 minutes into this game, and Vici Gaming are just trying to keep their lanes pushed out. TNC doing a very good job of keeping them down. Maybe not exactly where Fade wants to be, but he's checking hillsides with the gem.
TNC ended up not pushing with the Jugger kill too. They actually didn't force a buyback, so Paparazzi gets to have this buyback in the defense.
Yeah, that's a good board to keep up. How many buybacks do you have available? You've still got another 3 minutes to count down for a lot of the VG gaming players. But the same thing can be said for the Lifestealer. He's dead for a while. But they're coming out, VG. They're on a ward mission. Either that, they're on a rune mission, but I hate to tell you, it's been taken. There's no double damage for you. Roshan may respawn in 15 seconds. But they've come out. They're not under the cover of smoke. They're not under any observer wards. In fact, they're just putting down Roche wards. That's what they're preparing for. But Infest into Cuckoo. There's a go time once more. The Radiant scan hits perfectly on VG Gaming. And they're actually crossing over even further out.
So what Vici are doing is they're leaving the Lina in base, who has Boots of Travel level 2 and buyback. So worst case scenario, she gets jumped and killed, but she has the buyout. Best case scenario, this squad that they've sent out on a mission will find something that Lina can teleport into.
Going forward, there's your jump forward. The Burst Strike, well off target. Now it's Armel caught. He has to BKB and blink himself away to safety. Yang's looking for the target. All the colors of the rainbow. Going over towards Gabby, dropping him down by half-life. But they got more. Ice Blast, that's coming in a little late. Don't trigger that one. Actually, no, he did. All the way back at Fountain. Information given. So SKBT's to the bottom lane. Again, TNC just turning this into a side lane push, but Roshan spawned really early. So he's already available for everybody. And this guy comes with everything. He's the supersized me Roshan. Refresher Shard, Aghanim, Scepter Upgrade, Aegis, and Cheese. He comes with everything. I feel like that's a McDonald's menu.
Well, gotta put it in order first.
Well, Paparazzi, order up. Goes in for Roshan.
Oh, TNC cannot let this happen. There's no way they let this happen.
They're so quick about it. The Dire is scanning. Here comes your Ice Blast. This will scan out what's happening. Roshan, he's taking a while to kill off. Team beats are coming over. Cuckoo's already there. He's already got a friend inside. And now he'll walk out underneath everybody. But where's the catch? Is the Hex already over Armel? Down the lane. The Shadow Blade from Fade. He wants the jump. He bought this item just for this to hit that 1 RP.
So Ori managed to get the Hex off, but 4-Staff Glimmer Cave easily saves the Queen of Pain. And we're back to square one.
Santos playing Fire Strike! Captures turn with the Infest pop-up! They're able to keep the chase going! Who can they kill off? Magnus is low! He cannot be low! He needs to RP right now, but he's muted! Silenced up! 2 heroes down without the buyback! Armel's battling from the high ground, giving the information like Ori! He's just trying to beat the leader cannon up on the hillside! Run away! The bounty's not worth the Juggernaut! Just Thames is back in once again with a double stun! The BKB's protecting Yang, and now SK's down! Buyback, you may as well keep this fight going! Tim, come on the wrong side! 3 heroes down! Vici Gaming, however, do not have buyback on 2 of theirs, but Roshan, he's not looking that many of his wounds.
Why are all of Vici Gaming's best team fights when Magnus dies without RPing? And all of the worst ones are when they RP. I don't understand, Toby.
They perform under pressure.
They die, and then we'll clean up after you. I mean, of course, the thing is, they do commit a lot of cooldowns, right? They put themselves in a pretty bad position to kill off this Magnus. They use Rage, they use Sonic Wave, and they use BKBs. So, of course, there's a little bit of logic to the madness, but these fights are so unpredictable right now.
They're beating, and Ori also just consumed an Aghanim Scepter, so they're not even that confident they're able to grab this.
They're not getting it, though.
Nope, they're backing up. They're doing too much of the damage for TNC. Here's your buyback out from Witch Doctor. Where's the initiation? The tree volley arrives, but, well, that's a wide volley. Enchantress runs up. He's not protected by that Aeon Disc. Is still on cooldown. Same for Paparazzi, both stunned up by the Avalanche. Healing ward down. Paparazzi doesn't have a lot of mana. In fact, he can't even spin and Omni Slash. And now Roshan may even die to volley. Another buyback comes in from SK. Vici, they still don't have the RP Magnus alive.
They got what they came for. They forced 3 buybacks to defend this Roshan. Tiny, Lifestealer, and Sand King.
And the Creepways are pushing in through mid as well.
Yep.
So their presence, or their lack of in the lanes, has definitely been noted. Is someone going to finally grab this gem at True Sight? It's just been sitting above Roshan forever. Tree tossing out, Life Dealer's inside the pin. Juggernaut, that's a lot of damage you can get in. Yang throwing out hands, and maybe now, well, you've actually got the back down. They're going to get the kill on Paparazzi. He'll buy back, but Roshan's already been claimed. Gabby's trying to grab absolutely everything off the field at the moment. The Aghanim's consumable actually went into the Sand King. So now he's got the extra range. DY looks like he's still got the cheese from before.
All they had to use for that TNC was the cheese on Tiny. That was the only thing they lost. And they take a big win. Paparazzi, I think, was mashing his BKB to use it out of spin. And Queen of Pain was mashing her Hex. And it's about who does it first. And the co-op gets the Hex off. Very, very big in that moment.
Oh boy, 67 minutes in. We may be testing the limits of what is the longest game in TI at this rate, but we'll have to crack an hour and a half to change those compendium predictions.
This game is not even close to over.
No.
Sure, this Jugger buys back after this, but...
Even if TNC take a lane of racks...
There are plenty of buybacks of TNC that are down. They've used 3 buybacks themselves to get this Aegis, so they're not safe either. They're not in the clear at all.
Nope. It's Vici who want to fight. RP is up. Who's going to walk into it? Die, get the scan, and Mana Sand King. That'll be a huge jump. Lifesteal's inside of him. Armel's right next to him too. But Vici, they don't have the information. It's a Radiant Observer ward that's watching that movement down, playing under their own vision TNC.
I don't think they had the catch either. Lina was unable to get in. She doesn't have the Shadow Blade anymore, so has to get in and Hex by just running up the hill. She does the buyback, so she can take a risk like that, but...
Cuckoo's going for the tier 3 tower. Lifesteal can just pop out. Fortifications unavailable for VG Gaming for the moment. Well, because now it's blocked.
Instant infest again.
Yeah. That means TNC, without that fortification being available, can now push. Get one step ahead of my own brain.
Ori is exposing himself in mid. Not really.
Jump. Ori, they actually break the linkage with the Hex. That Aghanim Scepter from Ori does so much damage. Queen of Pain brought down by the Shockwave.
Has buyback.
That she does, but how many of these can you keep burning? If she burns hers, 4 players from TNC will be down. The Courier's going to get sniped out, but hey, why not? More Tiny. Catching triggered up. Fire strike comes in from Gabby. That RP, he waited. You count down 2. They both jumped away from the Ice Boss. They saw it coming in. DY will consume the cheese, giving his life back again. Ori trying to pump through the back of the Ancient Apparition. Still didn't have enough damage to work with, however, but Gabby now tastes all the colors of the rainbow. We're playing Skittle Enchantress, trying to kill off Gabby. He'll infest into Cuckoo. They change the target. Aeon just protecting Cuckoo, and they get time to kill off Lina Bot Tims. He goes into the backline, finding DY, gets the avalanche toss up. We've already got the buyback. Queen of Pain ready to fight once more, as you've got the toss. Tiny can't reach anything. Ori, he's cleaning up the creep wave and keeping Gabby stunned up. VG Gaming, full retreat back inside the base. They do not have RP. The biggest thing the TNC's been scared of, but the best thing VG fight without.
Yeah, VG should be favored in the coming fight.
You wouldn't think it though. Queen of Pain's dead for so long. If she dies once more, and this will be all the space they need.
They get all the bounties on TNC. This is 70-minute bounty runes. These are worth about 1,000 gold each.
What is it? It's yeah, 180.
It's 900 gold per bounty rune. So 3.6k gold just picked up. How nice?
Yeah, sure.
But again, they can't high ground, it looks like. So you traded off buybacks, Queen of Pain for the Lina, and your Aegis is going to probably just expire at this rate before you go high ground, and the RP will come off cooldown again.
I actually wonder how many Aegises have we had that have actually been burnt? I think we have the one, which was on Ori on the bottom lane.
I think one only. And
that's it. Every other one has timed out, and we've gone through 4 Roshans. And there'll be another. Don't you worry. Mel's looking to be the carrier of Lifestealer for the moment. It is kind of stupid when you reach that point where Lifesteal's like, yeah, I'm not going to pop out of you. There's nothing for me to really farm to advance myself any further forward. Actually, he still can, but he's just got to swap the Radiance in and a Moonshard. Like, that's it. But he's got a Bloodthorn.
Yeah, I think you go Bloodthorn instead of the Radiance, because at this point, you Bloodthorn nullifier somebody and you just blow them up with Sanking. 100-0. You can even kill the Aeon Disc heroes if you're quick with the nullifier after the Aeon Disc procs. Although Ench will probably be mashing the crap out of her BKB button.
I'm wondering if Ench actually commits her own buyback money, her surplus. She's got enough to buy the MKB and has a Moonshard ready to consume.
But buyback is the biggest resource in the whole game now. There's nothing more important than buyback. It's bigger than any item. It's bigger than Aegis Cheese. It's bigger than Refresher. Because what this is going to come down to eventually is either Vici Gaming will run out of their base and lose a fight, and if they don't have buybacks, it doesn't matter what items they have, or TNC are going to try to push and you're going to fight with your extra lives. It's a huge resource to have right now. And, well, there's very few people that have that resource. It's 2 heroes on Vici. Nobody on Radiant has buyback currently. There's been so many burnt.
AA is just short of the money, but
AA is the only hero missing gold. Everybody else has cooldown.
What does TNC do? Like, you just wait for next Roshan, and that's when everyone will fight. Also, keep in mind that the Aghanim was consumed on the SK. Like, there's still a refresher shard on the Queen of Pain, so double Sonic Waves, double Hexes, double Bloodthorn, Shivas, all that kind of jazz. Yep. And she's got the cheese as well.
I wonder if we're going to hit this kind of moment. So, sometimes complexity can be a bit too much for you. Like, for example...
You meaning the team with Kyle, or are you meaning what?
Kyle can be too much for you. It's not complexity related though. But when it comes to, for example, Shadow Demon, right? When you get level 25 in an Axe, you suddenly have 2 disruptions and 3 demonic purges, and you need to like cycle them correctly in the fight you want to use them effectively. You're reaching this point with Queen of Pain where if you overthink things and you want to play everything perfectly, you're gonna get stunned and die. Like you don't have to use maybe every single item in the perfect way in the fight because you're going to overwhelm yourself, and analyzing and casting all of these abilities correctly is extremely difficult.
So what you're asking for is a spray and pray.
Not necessarily, just don't overthink it. Don't be like, okay, I have to BKB, I have to link in somebody while I'm BKB'd, use Shiva, Orchid, Bloodthorn, and Hex, all my spells, and then I can refresh and do it again. Because something is going to go awry. Like, there's going to be something that surprises you, somebody gets force staffed, and your entire plan is gone. Like, just make sure you get 2 good Sonics off and 2 Hexes. I think that's the biggest thing, maybe 2 BKBs. The Shiva, not important that you get 2 off. The Linkens, you know, you can refresh it if you absolutely have to. But apart from that, just, you know, don't make it too complicated.
Well, let's see how TNC do it. They're smoking up, so we may get the answer to the level of complication. Juggernaut, the man in the front lines, they're protecting him so hard. It's the Glimmercape from DY. Also, the only player who's not 25 right now is DY. Cuckoo wrapping around the back. Vici also smoking out. Roshan won't respawn for another 30 seconds at the earliest. But Yang, he's the bait. The blink, Burrow Strike. Out they jump. Out they go protection. Oh, a huge avalanche down the backline. Paparazzi Fate instantly couldn't respond, but now they can. In towards Tim. They want to kill him off with the Sonic Wave. They're all being pushed out of the ultimate of AA, but it won't matter when Magus is going to pop anyway. Buyback's coming thick and fast. All 3 of them back up again. And now Enchantress just needs the hills. Actually, it's just Lena with the hill had advantage. They'll move back up. Buyback out from VG Gaming. They have enough for Paparazzi on the back of the Omni Slash with the extra back. They just need a whole Cuckoo there, but they can't do it. They're able to pound on in. They try to stop the damage, but you can't stop it. Armel could only avoid it, blinking away to safety. Faye's got blink off cooldown 1 second time. Armel's feeling like they should already be there. Out of all of that, with the buybacks that were committed, there's still only 2 heroes who are down for the count.
They finally had a team fight with 2 Omni Slashes. I think that's the first time in the game that they've managed to accomplish it. Paparazzi gets Omni Slash off, the Magpie's back, gets an RP, and they have the second Omni ready to go. But somehow, TNC didn't lose more heroes in the second Omni Slash. I think Queen of Pain just barely got out of it with the blink.
Oh, Yang, the Burrow Strike. He was going for the rune right now. He's actually going to be Bloodthorned up. And how much control have they got? You're set for arriving. Fade, he may need to help out. A quick force up. Yang's going to BKB. Armel blinks himself forward. Well, that's not complicated, but that's daring. They still want to go for more. Infest, delivery system right now. The blink Burrow Strike. Cuckoo got 2. Combining with the Shadow Strike. They just fear them up. Enchantress, Paparazzi. They're trying to BKB and get the hell out of here. Buyback's not real developer anywhere apart from Paparazzi. Magnus, he's actually cold beaten up. Armel just beating him down with the daggers. Juggernaut will also fall. No life, no mana, no teammates. 3 players from VG Gaming pushing up the daisies. TNC, now they need to force the issue. They know the buybacks are on cooldown. They're going for the tier 4 towers. They're going to end this game right here, right now.
And it's all because Vici Gaming wants to get this bottom bounty rune. They're not that important anymore! They could have maybe held for another 10 minutes or more in their base, who knows, but now they don't even get the chance. GG!
That's it. They just call it 76 minutes in for, well, an anticlimactic end. Over boundary. But TNC, man, they felt like there was opening. They chased it. They looked so far behind in just the early, like 20, 25 minutes into this game.
TNC Predators turn to pick. TNC Predators turn.
Ancient apparition.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
Tiny.
10 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to back.
Tide Hunter.
TNC Predators turn to ban. Vici Gaming's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to pick. Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
Bristleback! 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn. Admiral Concar. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
Earth Shaker.
TNC Predators turn.
Life Stealer.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's TNC Predators turn.
Rook. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. You may now select your heroes.
You know, I love how he's like, I'm going to focus on the mentality, focus on like just making them really happy about things. And they were laughing their asses off inside the box. End of the draft, it's like they couldn't have a care in the world. It's like you're fighting on the main stage of TI9, potentially taking out one of the clear favorites of this tournament. And, well, let's have a laugh away as we go through it all.
And he'd also have no idea if they had a good time last game because he didn't understand what they were saying. So we just gotta hope that they were enjoying themselves in that previous game.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, we have to work on some communication problems. Did you have any communication problems? I know you got to tell me.
honestly, though, that last game really showcased one of TNC's biggest strengths as a team, which is they're very, very good at team fighting. There were so many like small intricacies in every fight that could have gone differently if they had slightly different plays. You know, Infest was used super well with the Sand King. Their initiations were on point. Vici Gaming, however, they were a bit lacking in the teamfight department. We know that was going to be the case. Fade had to have an outstanding game on the Magnus. I think he played all right. He had some good RPs, some fights where he didn't get anything done. And the main problem was like the disconnect, it felt like, between the Magnus and the Juggernaut, where they didn't really get to combine their spells in too many fights in a row.
Yeah.
So this time around, I think Vici Gaming have set themselves up for an easier to execute draft than the previous one. They have multiple ways of catching. They have multiple teamfight abilities with both Tide and the Kunkka. They could even steal one with Rubik. And their lane will be just as strong as last game, if not even better. Except mid, which will be hard for Ori against Razor.
Yeah, but it's also, it's the Kunkka. It's a hero who we've seen, even in some bad matchups, still make the most out of it. Paparazi's really hanging around for a long time here in mid lane too. He's trying to get a little bit of extra information. They don't see anything. The Observer Wards haven't scouted out any of the lanes for the moment. VG have Fade and DY down on the off lane, and Paparazi's going to think about joining them now. It is an aggressive tri-lane from TNC, as Tims blocks the wave out with the fissure, so it's going to hold it back as far as it possibly can. And Grant gets his wish. We get to look towards the mid lane, as Armel just looks to bully Ori out of the lane.
Paparazzi was waiting. He wants to get the Tiny matchup and avoid the Bristle matchup on his lifestealer in the beginning. So he's going to walk up top, break a Clarity on the way. That'll do.
Yeah.
And run up to the top. So TNC with a little bit of a head start in this offlane, of course. Tiny will have the level advantage against the rotating lifestealer, but unfortunately for him, he barely denied anything.
Gabby's going to cop a lot of damage.
Be all right for now, though. Getting trial lane as Bristle is actually really scary if it's a kill lane. Oh, same story for lifestealer, though.
Yeah, Paparazzi fished up. He actually ended up having Cold Feet go, because obviously, yeah, you want to have Feast level 1. And then the mid lane, Ori getting in the face of Armel. Courier is bringing the salve, so he'll be okay. Ori's is a little bit further away, however.
And Paparazzi will now be getting... He didn't lose as much farm as he could have because there were so many creeps top that weren't denied in the first wave from Cuckoo. So he'll get some good experience in the tower, but missing quite a lot of last hits, though. Cuckoo got a couple of denies in, too, so very nice for them in the start in the top lane. And bottom is kind of just chilling right now. I'm curious about the outcome of mid. I think historically this has been a super Razor favorite matchup, but it might be slightly better for Kunkka now than it used to be. So looking forward to seeing how well Armel/Ori will do in this lane.
And Ori at least knows that Tims is hanging around right underneath the Dire Ops. They can't really do much with it, but yeah, bottom lane, Gabby popping a lot more damage. Face took out his level 1 Fade Bolt, but Gabby burned through one of his mangoes, now will be salved up.
Is that why he likes Rubik so much?
Block over on Ori, he's got no way out of here. He just has to TP. He's only go to the tier 1 tower. Doesn't want to leave this lane because he does have the salve to get himself back up to full health. But he's been waiting for this moment and keeping Tims there.
Regeneration.
But just smart play from Ori. Keep his hopes alive in the mid lane against Armel, who was obviously very much ahead in CS.
Yeah, it's mainly the denies that are the problem. If Razor's getting farm, it's not that bad for you as long as you are getting farm too, but he's getting up-leveled heavily, and that will become a problem. Once Razor hits level 6, could maybe run you down with a Shaker Fissure, get blocked off, and you get killed. And Gabby's game is not too bad either, honestly, considering the starting tri-lane and then this current dual lane. He's doing all right for himself. Staying kind of afloat, somewhat similar to the lifestealer in the top lane.
Tims is coming again, but Ori sees him coming. So Armel already having Static Link broken.
There's a lot of wasted time for ES's rotation. Obviously, you can't do anything without a paparazzi on top. Any harassment you do, like Feast is just going to regen it back up again. If you get in too deep, then DY is going to punish you.
In my opinion, this is not that good of a Shaker game, especially because of the early stage that you talked about. But he can, of course, always come up big later with a good Echo Slam. He's trying to pull the wave here, not letting that happen. DY with the disruption. Very appropriately named for that situation. Disrupts the pull.
I love that Tim's was, while what was happening, he was trying to pull with the illusions on the camp, but he mispulled the set of Mind Stealer. So DY has been stacking everything else on the side, but he's been trying to stop the stack on the hard camp to pull to the top lane.
Oh, he's gonna let Tim's do it this time, DY.
Interesting.
I wonder why.
He does have mana for a disruption, so he could easily stop it. Even if then he has a mango.
He might let him get it because he will get the bounty then. I don't know if that's gonna align.
Yeah, 20 more seconds. I suppose the creep wave will be so far back, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if he gets the wave in the tower at 4:45, maybe they will not be ready to get bounty runes, but I still think they will. And he doesn't look like he's interested in contesting them anyway. Maybe they'll get 3.
Might contest bottom lane.
It could get 3.
Because you got Fade coming over, so Fade should be able to secure bottom lane, but Yang's in a lot of trouble. That's way too many stacks of Quill Spray. Really don't know if that's going to be worth both of the bounty runes, because they dragged off the support as well.
It's first blood. That's 600 gold.
Yeah, not worth it.
I think that's worth it. That is absolutely worth it for Gabby.
Is under attack.
And I don't know if Tide will be having a good time down here anymore.
They're going for a ML. They know static click is down. X-Mark, Torrent up. DY is moving in. Tim's thinks he can do a little bit more, but you've still got Fade who can pick him up, and with Destruction, goes up to the other side of the rock wall underneath the tier 1 tower. Tim's can't help out anymore. In fact, he tried to keep chasing down. All he had was a totem.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So a great rebuttal onto Armel. And my god, did Vici need that? 19-1 to the 33-15. The level difference was, well, it was a full level before that happened. And now the efficiency shrine them back into lane. Smoke up from TNC. Of course, it's TNC. Lost a hero. What do we do? We attack.
Look at them get quick move of their own. Looks like it's unlikely to be successful for now, unless, now it's very unlikely to be successful.
Invis Rune Fade breaks it. There's no sentry wars. There's 2 obs on Pims, but they have no detection. So disruption will begin. Cuckoo's nearby. He's going to find out there's a big stack just over on the side. So they're going to help bring that down. In fact, Bristleback may just try and farm that while he tries and farms up DY's life. DY doesn't have much more to give. Down very quickly. Left an Observe Ward behind.
And Gabby gets the stack.
Yeah, that's a full triple stack as well. All of it prepared by DY. That's damaging to the Vici economy.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Good clip.
Oh, better fissure. Tim's wraps around the side of the torrent. Will create a little bit of extra space. DY's nearby too. Starts the disruption and TNC. With 3 heroes are fighting between the tier 1 and tier 2 tower at mid. But they may go again. There's still 120 damage stolen over on the Razor. Can't get in range to hit anyone though, but Gabby also ready to dive. They'll get rid of that ops. Vici feeling like TNC knew a little bit too much there. But they've left the side lanes alone. Yang has been farming up and pushing as well as Paparazzi. It's a little bit of space for the 1 and 3 of Vici.
Mid lane.
Yeah, they're really trying to go again on Armel. Dropping down the ship. Is there a pickup? Is there a throwback? There's Spade having some issues. They'll disrupt to begin with. They could have thrown him down the hill, but decided against it.
I think he couldn't get the right range. He was very close to being tossable, but I'm pretty sure he would have done that if he could.
Gabby's had such a huge injection of money. He just took an ancient stack that was prepared. They're going to get another double stack up right now. And Garmel can help with the plasma field, and Gabby can just take the rest of it with calls. And it's going to bring about a very early hood.
Nothing like some good family farming.
Everybody together. Family affair. And same time you see Earn now coming out in Rubik. Not deciding to go for the Arcane boost. In fact, you're seeing Fade, he's just directly rushing into the Spirit Vessel. There's nothing else that he's looking to complete.
Yang was just left alone to take a tier 1 tower back at 8 minutes.
The trade-off was the stack, right? Ori, X marks Gabby, just trying to get him away from him. But Faye's going to die in mid lane.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower.
And now the mid tower being pushed by TNC. And this is the bigger tower.
And Gabby's taking the stack while this is happening. I don't even have to commit that bristleback. He's taking the stacks from the side. Yang's trying to have his own little battle with Tim's. Ori, X marks his spot's on cooldown for the moment, trying to go for a blind torrent. Tim's a little bit off target. If he really wants this, he can commit the Ravage. He may have to do so because Ori, the plasma field, Armel just moves over from the mid lane to find the kill, and Faye's got nothing more to give. Yang, he's got 1 charges. He's going to burn the Ravage, eclipse the bristle back on the back lines, but they really just want to kill off Armel. He's dealing all the damage out of Paparazzi, so he's hitting my kittens. Armel through the trees. He's still got 75 HP, but Paparazzi got negative 150 damage. Kuka will create some space with the avalanche toss, and Yang will in fact die.
Huge for Armel that he just barely manages to get static link off before the Ravage connected. If he doesn't turn for that 100% a kill, pretty taming. But now they ended up losing their mid tower, their Ravage, and they're tied. So huge segment there from TNC, and maybe they'll even get 3 bounty runes. At least AU is trying to perhaps get some information here so he can get an additional rune, but looks like he is wisely backing away. Or is he?
Don't know. Probably feels he's okay.
Okay.
He's just taunting in the lane. That's all he has to do.
Bounty.
Yeah, it'll be a 2-2 trade-off. I think Ty's trying to get his own money in now to try and complete up this Vlad's for his team. They need the aura. Hand of Midas is flying out as well on the courier. That one will be for Paparazzi. Gabby's going to have all the money in the world. He's now sitting at 5.3. This will move up even further with these 3 big ancients to go down. So we're 10.5 minutes in and he's cracked 5.6 net worth.
He's super fun. And consider this was a 3rd pick bristleback. They had ample opportunity to try to counterpick it, and they built their lineup, which hasn't been successful at countering him at all so far. They didn't really pressure him very much in lane. A little bit, but not too much.
Oh, toss in. We're already starting with a static link over on Paparazzi. He has to open wins and try and outrun this. Gabby's moving over too. They'll try and slow him down. Ice Blast, well off target. But it won't matter if they can keep that chase going on Paparazzi. Difficult. And they will back off. All they want is the tier 1 tower anyway. And Vici aren't in a position where they want to try and fight. Like right now, they've got Rubik leeching some experience on bottom lane. He can TP up towards the top, and looks like TNC will back off. The fortification has dissuaded their push. And they're actually going... Okay, so you got the Vanguard. He's going Crimson instead on the Bristleback. And it's the hood on the Razor. So they have Pipe as well as Crimson Guard from VG Gaming at a reasonable hour. Yang, space being created by DY. He's got Ravage off cooldown in 10 seconds time. Paparazzi thinking about coming in. That's a nice Ice Blast on the back. Until it hit absolutely nobody. Not so nice anymore.
Nice can also mean that it looks pretty, Toby.
It does. Beautiful.
And it was a very nice Ice Blast. Yeah. TNC didn't manage to connect on that one, but they still got some good damage on the top tower.
Rubik actually got the Ice Blast.
That is a big steal.
And look at Armel come over. It's like, guys, we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him. Plasma field through the trees, begins the TP, realizes there's no suns nearby. Tiny. I mean, yeah, sorry. I was looking for the fissure. Paparazzi really wants to finish off this top tier 1 tower. There's money going begging and also just has to restrict the movement of TNC. Almost feels like it's time for another smoke from TNC. They're carrying one on the AA.
But they don't have a dead hero right now. That's when they smoke. It's when there's a dead guy, they smoke as 4, and get an amazing team fight out of it.
I'm getting the logic trains the wrong way. You see the reason why the Spirit Vessel is just being totally rushed by Vade. They need to put that on Gabby every single fight.
Yep.
He cannot stand on the front lines. And what are you going to do? Like, do you even build like Silver Edge on Lifestealer or something along those lines? Like,
probably not.
Like, how do you actually counter the Bristleback apart from stealing Ice Blast and getting a Spirit Vessel?
Well, if Shadow Demon could ever get an Axe, that's pretty much a hard counter.
That's the way you do it?
Yeah. It's a super hard counter, but He's a position 5. It needs to be a long game for DY to get. I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's like, if I can get this, we win this game, like game against Bristol. But Bristol kind of probably doesn't want to play that game anyway. TNC don't want another 70-minute game here with their strategy, but you never know. It might get into that position once again. And then that would be the ideal solution if Shadow Demon act.
Just got to push hard and fast. Vici Gaming really want to have a fight up on top lane. If Gabby hangs around just long enough to get in range of the X marks spot, which is what happens. CP support is coming in. They'll hit him with a ship and we'll see just how much damage can be done. Ice Blast is flying in. Who's that one actually going to belong to? It belongs to the Radiant side. They've already killed off Gabby. Echo Slam will go. The Ravage doesn't clip up on the back lines, but Tim's Echo Slam is really ineffective. It's VG Gaming. They want to keep the chase going. The torrent, it doesn't slow down Armel. If it did, they would have been looking at a kill, not a tower. Cuckoo's moving in through the side. They're trying to look with the poison of DY. The tower is low, but it's not within deny range. If VG Gaming will back up, happy with what they've achieved so far. Killing up Bristol, slowing down his farm time. And getting all that money. Ori is the one who claimed the kill for 409.
No, I think they're going to lose the top tower, though. I think Lifesteal is being forced to TP out. They might TP Bristol on top if they want to. They might not have to do it even. He's kind of in between. He's TPing to the ancient area. They're going to flush them out, get the bounty runes, and get this top tower. No Ravage. Lifesteal TP'd away. It's not defendable.
It'll still be a 2-2 bounty rune trade.
But TNC are the ones getting map control out of this. Taking 2 towers to the 1.
Although DY's in the neighborhood, he's still stacking. Anything he can get.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So Fade's 500 gold. They're actually giving him the farm on the off lane and inside the jungle. Like he's taking it from Paparazzi just to get that vitality booster.
Gold for my master.
TP in towards mid. Coming a little late. Ori wasn't blocked in by the fissure of Tim's. So he's just waiting this out. With Cuckoo arriving. No Blink Dagger, but high movement speed. They can look towards the top lane. The tier 2 tower is being bodied right now. Gabby will try and tank up the creep wave. The Core Spray stacks up and running, but fortification delays them. But this is just buying time for Paparazzi to push bottom lane. He still wants to have the Radiance before they fight again, and they need to have Ravage up and running, and that's on cooldown of Yang for another 30 seconds.
Radiant's middle
TNC being careful, scanning inside the tree line. They don't want to get jumped, surprisingly. Tim's? No, they don't go on this. DY is nearby just in case to try and push him. That TP took a while.
That was a really good TP though. He runs back up. He's running into the Tiny. He knows that Shaker doesn't have Echo, so he can't get in and get that instance done. Has to get the enchant off. And he does manage to get out. Well, that was a really awkward spot he got himself caught up in.
Yang wants to fight. They have the Observe Ward. They know that Armel's still nearby, so DY going to start with disruption. Pert is available. How much control have they got? Pick up, throw down, Ice Blast. It's going to connect over on 3 heroes, combining with the Avalanche with a Ravage from Yang. It'll create the space back again. Cuckoo, well, you'll have toss stolen, so throw him around, throw him in. There's well, run away. Gabby, he's now arriving. Fade trying to get away from the cold feet. Gabby wants to focus down on him. They're still 2 dead for the moment, and this will be a very dead Rubik. Fade was worth quite a lot with all the space and farm he's managed to achieve.
Yeah, 440 gold for Armel. That's pretty... It's not an even trade, but getting that exit kill definitely helps with the overall trade-off. And that was, of course, another Ravage fight. So now there's downtime. And this downtime will be used to pick up a Blink Dagger for Tim. So now things can get really interesting for TNC. They need to start fights with probably Cuckoo running it. Wait, does Cuckoo have less network than Tiny? Oh, they have pretty much the exact same. I was like, wait, Tiny is not even close to Shaker's items, but
yeah,
it has some different items.
It's actually exactly the same net worth. Actually 20 gold the difference.
Yep. So you want to set up the fight so that you can get a good Echo, ideally. Or you can lead with the Echo, but that's dangerous against both Ghost Ship and Disruption. So you probably lead the kill with Tiny or with Bristle, get a response, and then you can turn it around. You see that they're forcing Roche right now.
Yep.
Bristle can tank it, keep stacking up goo, and if a team fight breaks out, Shaker has the dagger. They should know it though, he walked for a ward now, so they've had ample time to click him.
It's just a little early though for him. Oh, here comes your avalanche. Toss comes, Ice Blast. They're going to avoid a Vici Gaming. Up the hill and away with a blink. Echo's left, connecting on two. With a fissure on the 3. The buys some time defensive disruption. And Abel's caught the wrong side of the wall. Temper 44 seconds, but it won't matter. When Gab continues to sack up the quill spec stack, he's going for Yang a little bit further up. While Fade has to battle against 3. He's almost up, just tossing everybody around. As then Yori looking for the cleave. You can't get it though. Gabby's already got him with a fissure. Yeah, you'll get it on AU. But they want the bigger one. They want he's the man to start this. And they're going to bring him down. Cuckoo's not done just yet. Oh, toss him up, try and get him on the radiant side. Gabby's moving in, and Ori knows he's staying happy with the triple kill. He's still the invincible, but he wasn't there for most of the fight because he was fighting the Titan to keeping him away from the engagement. Keep in mind that Roshan is not dead yet, and Ravage has been 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's 2 support maps from TXE, but if they manage to get Roshan, it's all worth it. If they don't, however, can't lose a fight. They could end up losing the map in a big way right now, being rewarded. Gaming are their heroes up and alive soon. This is a pretty slow Roche kill.
It really is.
Even with Solar Crest, it's taking forever.
They've built the 6 finally. Imps will come in to help land the stuns. Vici don't want anything to do with this. They're going to let it go.
And do you give this to Gabby or not? No, you give it to her. No, I think that's better too. Like Bristleback, Bristle with Aegis is like pretty much invincible, but then at the same time you have another core that's exposed, and then the call from the enemy team would just be, well, we're kiting Bristle and we're killing the Razor. Now, there's no good choice. You're not going to kill the Bristle first, that's very unlikely, and killing the Razor first is also not very good because of the Aegis of the Immortals, so the upcoming fight for Vici Gaming is going to be really difficult, and maybe they're just not going to try to take one at all. Maybe they'll just farm. Paparazzi's close to Radiance. Anything else coming up? Kunkka close to Lotus Orb. They can remove all the nasal blue stacks. Reflect the static link.
It's a lot of patience from Vici Gaming, but this game feels very different to game 1, where before it's like, oh well, we're in power buffed up, we'll just be able to outfarm them and outscale them. But
I feel like the majority of Vici's hardest games, win or lose, have actually been with Magnus this tournament. It really feels like the bottom lane.
Have a crack, disruption up, Gabby up, thrown down, Perch, having a hard time walking this off, but at the same time, Yang, what are you going to do? Is he going to commit the Ravage? Support is on the way, Paparazzi has arrived, but they burnt most of what they had on the Bristleback. Keep in mind, there's no Spirit Vessel charges now on Fade. That item which he rushed up, they haven't been able to actually get kills with it, or he hasn't been around when kills have happened. So the charges are going begging.
Yeah, very necessary. The healing block, the damage. Bristleback has super high max HP, so lots of damage coming out from the vessel usage. When he's high on health, it will hit hard. And I like this from TNC. They have a siege creep, they have Aegis, they have a fat Bristleback in the front. Let's go, let's take some towers. And Vici Gaming will try to defend.
Yep.
As we talked about before, who is your target?
Fade's got good clearance. Lotus Orb is up. Radiance is up. Paparazzi will be the primary one. Sorry, Gabby, he's a little bit closer. Here comes your ship turret combination with the boat. Mel moves forward a little bit and creates some space, but they don't get anything out of this. So the ship down, there was no commitment. TNC will easily take the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that looked like indecision from Vici. Like, the call was to go and somebody immediately counter-called that, like, we can't go. And they end up just wasting away a ghost ship. 25 seconds on it now.
Once again, Fade trying to clean this up. Tim's Cuckoo looking to jump in through the side. They're going to get it. It's a nice Ravage over on 2. And actually, the spill damage. Vessel died so quickly. I am uncertain, but Armel, he's certainly dead. In behind the back lines, looking for his own kill. Disruption from DY buys some time for Yang to move away. He wants to stick around for the extra gush. Maybe an anchor smash. You've got good damage from Cuckoo. And then the Fissure. They hold him there, but Armel can't go anywhere. He's trapped inside the rock wall. Cuckoo, he's done his TP. The creep is going to chase him down. You've also got DY on the back of Tim's. Does he see him? He does, but he doesn't have disruption. He can't kill him. He tries to pop him with the poison, but it won't work. Can we see that again? What was that?
I think Cuckoo got X marked, that's why his TP got cancelled, but he just ran away. So that didn't really matter very much.
What happened to the Bristle?
Yeah, he died real fast.
He's got Solar Crest, Hood, Vanguard. All these things should spell life.
I know there is a Soul Catcher, of course, but there was no Vessel.
No Spirit Vessel.
Okay, let's see. So he's crested up. Ravage. Paparazzi's just nailing him from the front.
Okay, that's it. He just never turned.
Oh, well, he got ravaged with his front turn toward the Lifestealer, so he got in like 3 hits, 4 hits. Yeah, it's a quick kill. He's not tanky against that right now. Because yeah, you've got the defensive Solar Crest on yourself, but then Tide puts an offensive one on you, and it's kind of negated. So Lifestealer is still dealing really good damage, even though he doesn't have any minus armor himself against the Bristle. And Gabby just overestimated himself.
Yeah.
And for that, it was a cool play call from TNC though. They had a max range fissure, they had the Ice Blast over the top, but Rubik got off all his one charges before he got Ice Blasted, stayed alive, and they easily cleaned up the Bristle hand form.
It actually feels a little odd when you look at these engagements where TNC, like, as you said, like maybe they just underestimated how much damage VG could do. You throw out the Fisher, it's like it's a Rorschach moment. I'm locked in here with them. Uh-oh. And Fade's not done yet. He wants to look for more. Farm up that Ether Lens, get himself something nice. Or he's able to snipe out the rune. Seems also a little harder to target him down now. You just wait for the right Lotus Orb timing. Not as easy for the Razor just to run in and get whoever he wants. Yang's approaching his Blink Dagger too.
That's a big item for Vici. It allows them to set up a fight similar to the one from before, just that they can be the initiators. They can infest the Tide, he can Blink Ravage and Solar Crest the Bristle, and they just go to work with anybody behind where the secondary is done. So similar to last game, there's no saves on TNC's lineup. This time there's one on the Vici Gaming side with the Shadow Demon.
Looks like TNC are grouping up once more up on the top. They do have two smokes for the Ancient Apparition. If they want to smoke into the VG jungle, they can do so, but you're already seeing the vision game trying to be played out by VG. Defensive Observer Ward to the north of their shrine, centering around all the access points into their jungle. But there's no wards down from TNC there. They have the Tinker Ward on the bottom lane, and they have a very defensive Obs inside their own jungle. And that's it. That's the vision. That's the vision report. Rory is really keeping the pressure on bottom. Some good farm for him. His recipe away from now completing up the BKB. There's the Ether Lens that Rubik was farming up, now completed as well. And Assault Cuirass is on the cards here for Paparazzi, and he's already got two of the biggest items for it.
AC is the big item, but they decided to smoke regardless, and Paparazzi actually broke the smoke to hit creeps, and now he's going to go into the jungle, so the smoke will only be Tide and Shadow Demon. I guess this is a little bit of a warding mission. Didn't really find anything with this sentry. Maybe he's going to walk down and try to... Oh, he's going to use it here only, so pretty defensive. Maybe they were worried that TNC had a lot of heroes up here to go for this smoke, but if they were running against a lot of heroes, they would probably just died.
That's where you send the expendables.
Yeah, found that a little bit odd, but...
There's another easy way to scout. I need a couple of copies, guys.
Yep.
Let's send the Life Stealers to the mid. We'll burn down the wave. Vici have done a really good job of just slowing this game down.
Yeah.
The advantage was going the way of TNC, but just over the last, like, 10-15 minutes, everything has been going Vici's way. The experience actually tells the bigger story. About 7,500 in favor of VG. Just one pushing fight from TNC on the bottom, and VG just turned things around. They're really trying to be safe with Ori. Still got the hit.
Yeah, it's looking good for Vici Gaming right now. They're getting the BKB on Conka. It's a good lifestealer game like the panel talked about, with the exception of the Razor Drain. And they've kind of outlasted one of the worst parts of the game. If they pre-cast Lotus on the lifestealer and he gets linked by Razor, it's just a net 0. So then he can just stay in the fight and hit. But TNC have to be very mindful of playing around this Lotus Orb and trying to get the initiation. They have BKBs of their own too. Bristleback 10 seconds, Razor 9 seconds. So lots of magic immunity to go around. And they're really important for both teams, these BKBs. You can't just waste them away.
This smoke won't last long enough to take a fight, but nice deep ops. But now VG, yeah, they smoke up as well. They've been looking towards the mid where Ari's been pushing it out with his X-Mark, hoping that TNC would actually jump him. I love how he doesn't have enough damage to actually take the creep wave out in one hit for a 28-minute Kunkka. Here comes Yang to drop down the ward. Up on the hillside. I'll leave a sentry behind as well.
feel like I'm watching the same game as last game. Just running past each other in smokes, placing wards, and then farming creeps.
It's like both teams just understand where they're going, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, okay, we'll take the objective on the other side. We're not going to take the fight.
It's a very natural way. It's the layout of the map makes it make sense to play like this, but
I'm sorry. I thought that Gabby was actually going to have a crack.
That would be a very bad idea, I think. He doesn't have the information. But during the group stage, we saw a lot more aggressive invasive maneuvers, in my opinion.
Oh, TY. He just saw the observe ward that was planted on the Ancients. He understands the line behind it, but the Tar, the shift, the cover, tied under in the back line. The BKBs, however, protecting TNC. The Ravage wasn't good enough. Same with the Fidget from Tims, keeping the back line of Vici under control. Gabby now can start stacking up the close sprays. They've already got the kill over on the SD. Everyone else is trying to get back out. Paparazzi needs a vessel. He needs to infest. Ori came in close to give him that, but now he'll lose his life as well. Vici, they were asking for it. TNC, they gave it to him.
Perfect BKB usage. I think both of the cores completely avoided the Ravage.
They did.
And the Shadow Demon as the first kill is perfect for TNC. That's the save. That's the guy that can extend the fights for BKBs expire, and then they would be able to turn around. But this Tiny is just working super well for TNC in both games on 2 different players as well. Nice blast.
Yeah, it'll hit Fade.
So that's a tower.
Yeah.
And TNC's back in the lead.
That's all we need to do, right? It's like, say, okay, so this game is starting to go the way of Vici Gaming. Let's swing back the other way. Let's have a look at this fight. So, great initial stunts, but then BKBs of both Gabby and Armel both get off before the Ravage of Yank can connect.
And they get the Ice Blast onto the Tide. He has to run out of the fight, so he can't stay in health. And at this point, the fight is already lost, actually. So, quick and easy TNC, and they will get a Roshan.
Another Aegis and Immortal their way, and this one comes with a cheese too. So Bristle takes the Aegis, Armel will take the cheese.
So this time they're swapping it around. Oh well, they didn't have a cheese last time. They're putting the Aegis on Bristle this time, because he was like, okay guys, I am working.
This observer ward's going to give him really good information to try and fight on bottom. So you can see TNC coming to the bottom, and well, okay, never mind. There's the curse kicking in again.
Yep.
Defensive vision now.
Right, there you wanted that creep, he got it.
And the line's definitely been drawn by Gabby. Push bottom lane as far up as we can possibly go. Ravage is still down for another 21 seconds. Probably means like with the creep wave coming, Vici could try and fight.
Tower is under attack. Dire's bottom
They have the AC completed. Fade's got one Spirit Vessel charge.
This fight is very difficult. You have to either bait BKBs and outlast, and then you can Ravage, or you have to blink and burst people, but you can't burst the Bristle, he has Aegis. The Razor is super hard too because he has cheese, so you have to kill him from 100 to 0 in one go. You don't have any... I mean, you have the Vessel, but you can BKB cheese.
TNC quickly smoked, but they did it underneath the Vici ward. So Vici should be very much aware of this. Gabby, Armel, AA. Why do I feel like almost that TP towards the top lane of Tiny with the smoke was almost a bait? They want someone to feel like they can come out and fight, and Paparazzi is that man. The eye thought, oh no!
He wanted, okay, so Tims wanted to force Steph Blink Echo, but then he forced Steph Echo. Maybe he had cooldown on Dagger, I didn't see it. But that tree is so dead. He echoed it real hard. It happens though.
Going right here.
It's not that big of a deal because Vici Gaming aren't really in a position to make an aggressive move right now, so you can just chill and wait for the echo to come back up. If you take the fight right away, you still have Aegis for another minute. But that doesn't mean we can't have fun with it. It happens.
It's all okay, alright.
Yeah.
As
the cool thing was the play itself, where they smoke and TP the Tiny away and stay, like you pointed out. That was a really cool play. Paparazzi was not expecting that at all, but fortunately for him, a bit of a misplay from TNC in that instance to go for the kill.
very rare thing as well on Tim's ES. Like, he is a god on this hero.
Everybody makes mistakes.
That they do. I'm liking this atomization as well from Vici Gaming. Like, the 4-stars are starting to begin. Fade's got his picked up. Ether lenses for the support so they can hold back as far as they possibly can.
And the push is coming in through the top. Gabby, he's man the front lines. Quick early bash out from Paparazzi, but Prospect does have his back turned. The Plasma Field hits him pretty hard. He's actually perched up too. What are you going to do here, Gabby? Apart from potentially break the Ecosystem model, they won't even get that, or will they? X-Mark pulling back in. The Spirit Vessel taking away all this regeneration he wants. They four-star him, so he dies in push.
The poison stacks killed him off.
Plasma Field's going to clip him. Martin wins again. Paparazzi protected by the Lotus Orb of Ori, but the volley is beginning from Cuckoo. Aghanim Scepter is being completed.
That was a beautiful kill, though.
Tower is under attack.
It's a really good spell casting, and I don't know if they couldn't four-step him earlier to get him out of there. They have 2 4-steps, but
He had his back turned.
yeah, it was almost like they were trying to bait it, but they didn't have Echo Slam, which it seemed like Vici Gaming were aware of. I'm not sure they saw Shaker.
There was no vision of that.
I don't think they knew, actually. But yeah.
Actually, maybe someone attacked from the
I don't think they saw him echo the ground. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Hey, look, they changed the ward up this time around. They put it on the hillside. They didn't put it over on the tree line. And VG Gaming put down their own sentry looking for it. Not going to find it. And that is the job now of DY. It's a very thankless job.
I think the Plasma Field scouted there from Fade.
Hit it? Yeah, it did. Nice.
That was, I don't know if that didn't seem intended. It's just farming a chem. Sometimes you're allowed to get lucky.
Unintentional awesomeness. And Fade really is just putting all his money into farm. I feel like he's taking so much farm on the map. He's got more net worth than the ES does at the moment. Which is kind of surprising considering the start you saw from Tim, but he just had to create space for the rest of his team now.
Radiant are scared.
They're waiting for the 35-minute runes. Paparazzi is sent in. He'll rage up the torrent. Well, they're expecting Gabby to come in so close. With a rapid committed. They're going to go through it. Gabby's down for 80 seconds. Tibbs was stunned on the sideline too. Cuckoo creates a volley, space creation, backcourt deep. Vici don't want anything more. They got what they wanted. They got the Bounty Rune and the Bristol.
TNC have to be in better position with their 4-steps. If they're going to send in Bristol as food, you got to be able to reposition your food so it doesn't, you know, expire.
That analogy is just, yeah. It's very digestible.
Yes.
They're attacking in towards mid. There's the X mark. It's just Kunka trying to get in nice and close. Cuckoo forced off. Nice push away from Tim's. Cuckoo was just able to turn himself around and get away. But that's the tier 1 tower. Drop VG. Looking to amp up the pressure. Bristol back. The only reason why he's not buying back is one, he's short of money, so VG may feel like they can force it. Armel, oh, he hits the TP! There was no Ravage, there was no stun! Now Armel is totally trapped in TNC! The cracks are beginning to show in the armor! A quick down goes Armel, and once again TNC are fighting without one of their primary cores.
You're absolutely right. He was alive. There was nothing to stop that TP. Ravage was on cooldown. Kunka was too far away.
It's like a... Ah!
It happens.
And now the tier 2 tower will go down as well for this.
This has been a couple of minutes with TNC making a couple of unforced errors, honestly. The Shaker missing the Echo and using it on the ground. The Bristleback getting killed on the Rune. And now the Razor just not running away. And these,
not finishing his TP.
These mistakes have just had 5k gold.
Nice observer ward from TNC. Well, at least let them know where Ori's playing. The fact the tree was tossed might flag to Ori. The vision was there. Gabby is the man who has to be on the front line. Defending the tower. Still trying to find that last bit of money to finish up the assault cure us. And they're going to start to need to have items because there's bigger ones coming in from VG. Paparazzi, he actually stopped at the Bracer and he's going in for a BKB next. So all the immunity in the world, the Lifestealer is looking for it. Does he actually have like, does he go with the +2 with the rage duration is just like immune forever almost at the beginning 10 seconds?
I think you take rage duration like every game. Yeah. The other talent is, it's not bad, it's just not 2 seconds rage duration. So... yeah, it's
like
really that simple.
+1%. Like if it was like +2%.
The rage duration talent is super good.
Just to balance that, you can just see it in the next patch. You're gonna have it just with the 2s matchup. 2-second range, 2 feast percentage.
Imagine you gave a hero in the game a talent that said BKB duration +2 seconds as a 25 talent. How that would be in a lot of games, right?
Yeah.
And that is even you know, a much longer cooldown. Rage's cooldown is 18 seconds, so it goes from...
So you have 8 seconds, and then you have 10-second BKB. So
10-second downtime.
So you're technically immune for 26 seconds the first fight with a BKB.
Yes, correct. If you layer it
perfectly.
Yep.
Sure.
That's a long time. Remember the old lifestealer from Dota 1? Who had Rage as his ulti that lasted 18 seconds with magic immunity, and then he had 2 passives. One was lifesteal and the other one was Orb of Venom.
I think I like the new lifestealer better.
That hero was really stupid. And then it got changed. And that was a good decision. Techies is up next.
Yeah, I'd like a rework on Techies to make him a little bit more viable than just being a meme. Like, there are a lot of things that make him viable. Blastoff is very well worked, but yeah, Mines definitely needs something. Put out the theory crafting, something better than what Slix and I can come up with. Yang's on the hunt. He's got Gem of True Sight, making sure there's no vision for TNC around Roshan. He's another 2 minutes away from spawn time. And they really feel like, okay, hey Gabby, I'm going to hit you with a torrent. I don't see you. There's no vision up on the hill for him, but we'll play like there is. They feel the force.
Yeah, the next Roche has got to be where it's at. When's the spawning? 1:30. Both teams will not be leaving that area very much. Kunkka's going to go bottom to push out a little bit. He actually, okay.
Find their opening. Over on Cuckoo. Pick him up and throw him back. The Ice Blast is on the way in. It will be able to connect over onto both Yang as well as Paparazzi. Yang still having to wait out these BKBs before the Ravage can be useful as the tree toss begins from Cuckoo, but these BKBs are wearing off TNC. They have to turn around because Yang's about to come in. He's looking for the Blink Ravage. They already go for their initial target. Gabby, he can't turn around. Where is this Ravage? Where is his control? Here it is. 4 heroes hit by it, but where's the follow-up? Ori's trying to do it all at the moment. Xbox spot, Torrent, they still haven't killed off Gabby. And now they'll lose more. Ori, forced after away. A little bit of space being created. Yang can't really help out. Fade wants to, and maybe he has enough with a quick little toss over. Ori, so low on life. The Echo Slam has finally dropped down. Ori and Fade pushing up the daisies. Paparazzi about to join them as well. Maybe he can get a turn. No, he can't. He can just die. No life stealer shenanigans this time around.
Godlike fight from Tims. Every fissure made every bit of a difference in that fight. He blocks them off on the initiation, he blocks them off during the Ravage, he blocks them off during the escape, and then he gets the Echo, which is just a measly 1 hero Echo that barely matters because it's completely overshadowed by how wonderful those fissures were. That's the best play I've seen today. The way he played this fight was absolutely amazing.
Have I made up for my Echo Slam on bottom lane?
He just
so.
Realized he doesn't need to use it. He's like, okay, well, if I don't mess up my Echo and I focus on my fissures, that was awesome. That was a super good fight.
Gabby is starting up on Roshan. This is the 3rd one. It has a refresher shard, no Aghanims upgrade. But the fact that Armel also got through that entire fight, they still haven't used the cheese from the last Roshan.
Yeah.
So now they'll have a second one. Refresher shard. It goes to the Razor. You get cheese on the Earthshaker,
and we also need
cheese on the Tiny with the Aegis on the Bristle.
We need to remember how that fight broke out too. Kunkka was bottom, and they went for jumping on the Tiny, I think, when the first fissure saved him, and they have the 4 steps. I think jumping the Tiny next to the tier 2 tower is just not a high value play, and not one that favors them at all. So,
and that anchor clap. Shady eardrums all you want. Torrent combination. Gabby saying a little bit too long. He's got a lot of poison stacks on him. They're going to purge him. They just want to break the Aegis Immortal once again, but the forced up over with the fissure wall, creating all the space in the world. DNC really on top of positioning, but they don't get up to the high ground. They did not force a buyback.
Oh, regen.
No, how nice.
Yep. When you have map control like this, you're likely to get runes. It's 40 plus minutes, so now there's 2 runes every time. There's an Invis sitting bottom, not the most relevant rune for what TNC are trying to do right now.
And look, Yang's going for the double ulti again. This time he might be able to actually farm up the refresher off, but they're looking for 2 times the Ravage.
And this time it's huge compared to the last game, I would say. I mean, in theory, the 2 RPs would have been outstanding as well, but this will be much easier for him to use.
He just has to wait so long. Like, they still waited for the BKBs. They were 9-second duration BKBs in the last fight, actually 7 seconds for the Razor.
but they are starting to get lower. That wait time and that immunity time is definitely going to drop, especially now the BKBs on Paparazzi. He had that in the last fight too. We did see that long immunity duration. They're going to put it to the test. He's going to break the smoke over on Gabby. Vici will connect. Is there something to help? DY wants to. Disruption. Tims doesn't hit on the Echo Slam. Instantly they want to move away, but Purge actually, yep, it's over on Gabby, but Tims creates more space. Volleying forward once again. Almost impossible to move through that volley.
Something Yang can do in the upcoming fight is he can blink and pump fake the Ravage to bait out BKBs. Then he can BKB himself, stay alive, and then get the Ravage in. They need to kite the BKBs, and similar for TNC, you can... Or, well, not similar, because I think kiting for you is way harder and not as impactful. The cooldown of Lifestealer is... We've talked about this, how much uptime he has. It's hard to play around, and playing around Tide's BKB is probably not going to get you very far. So it's way more of a value play for Yang. And if he does get the refresher and he blink pump fakes 2 BKBs out, you better get out of there before he gets the Ravages, or you're going to lose multiple heroes very quickly. Alternatively, he can also just blink Ravage instantly, hope they don't react, maybe catches some supports.
Really wants to get rid of that Radiant Observer forward, but it's so dangerous to come close to the volley. Another quick tree toss, they'll send in their immunity Lifestealer to do it.
Coco's damage is super high with the Ags Daedalus.
And the control that comes with the Echo Saber as well. It's like 100% movement slow for 0.8 seconds. Well, the pressure is being applied through both bottom as well as mid. Yang does have the double Ravage, but they have the opening. He jumps in for a quick anchor. Now, the tier 3 tower still getting beaten down. The Aegis Immortal from Gabby will last a little longer. Tims has Echo in 10 seconds. Looks like finally Ori is actually, he's under the Observer Ward. Avalanche has been thrown out. Cuckoo just trying to battle for the bounty runes. Goes for the quick volley. Support's coming in with the Ice Blast. Ori going to stay inside of it as well. Just trying to walk all this off and then TP away to safety. Cuckoo, but nothing to stop him with. But look at Vici. Move out. Look for their own target now that a lot of attention of TNC's been dragged top.
That was great from TNC though. They got 4 bounties. They do end up conceding some map control here by letting Vici come back in. Perhaps they could have avoided that if they just let Tiny do the job top and they stayed in this strong position down here. But they do get all 4 bounties. So some good economical win. Oh, that's an Abyssal I'm hearing.
Yep, bottom lane. They're going in after Paparazzi. He's still got his BKB available as well. That rage is lasting forever, but so is Armel's like damage deal. 280 taken out of it. A push away from Cuckoo. Now the Ravage will pop a 4-star. They're going to X-mark and pull him back in again. All that extra life that he gained. Where's your refresher in second time? It ain't going to happen, or maybe they just stick on top of him. That'll be the way to break down the Tiny. 5 comes in from the room and get a lot of money. Now they look to the Ancient Apparition. Another turn. Pulls him back in once more. Ancient Apparition to 4. And put off the storm. They're looking for their own damage output, and the stun from ES is stopped Yang from getting the instant Ravage off. And in fact, he doesn't even have the mana for it anyway. They're just going to have to hold in Armel. Yang with the BKB wants to keep on fighting, but now the volley will arrive. They have to start retreating. Vici Gaming back on the shrine. This thing's still up. They're going to regenerate up almost everything they lost. And Cuckoo's going to try and fight into them. They've got to be careful. Ravage is still available. He can blink more and just go for it. Bristle back. He gets clipped up, and also the stuns on the sideline. Bristle's down for 100 seconds. Ancient Apparition will also go down, but they pull back the Megalon. They pull back Cuckoo. They need to get rid of all that damage output that he has. They're gonna do so. Ice Blast comes too late. TNC, 2 heroes without buyback, and Vici Gaming, like sharks, they smell blood in the water, and they're hunting. Yang taunt chasing Armel up through the top lane. He's wasting time, however. Vici need to push the lane.
This is a huge kill though to get.
Oh, with a gush. He's still got static link available. There's no stun. There's no way he can actually cancel the TP. That's the goal right now. Kunka's coming over. He'll BKB TP away to safety. Safety for Armel.
Radiant's middle tower.
And in the meantime, Lifestealer and Rubik are still mid. So they've pushed out that wave and they're going to try to go high ground. Good Fissure is going to buy some good time here.
Still a big three-way pushing in through the top lane too, and Ancient Apparition is forced in the bottom. So while Paparazzi is going to be knocking on the door, taking anything more than a tier 3 tower may be problematic, but they'll look for a trade-off. Here comes your Ice Blast flying in, catching everyone a long distance with Razor. Below of life, the Oils will try to protect him, but it won't happen. Fade just volleys him down.
But now what do they get? They're going to buy back out from Eraser, but there's problems on the bottom lane and top. The catapult double waves really did a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah, AO may have just saved a potential lane of Rax there with this bottom push that he was doing with AA.
Tims, this is a solo kill. Jumps out, can grab the double damage room. Maybe he doesn't even need it. Echo slams, a quick force up. TI9, the Your Scepter. He went up in the air, and now it's Disruption. It'll go two different ways. The I+5 right over the top. TI9 needs to kill off the illusion. Won't help. Gabby will find him. Geometry has been dropped. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off as they keep on battling. Maybe with the turret. Where's your boat? It's off cooldown, but they don't want to do it. The BKB's protecting TNC for the moment, but they're such low durations. The TNC know they need to back off once more.
And Tim's used buyback. So did Shadow Demon actually, so never mind. But Tim's is way more valuable. He's much richer. His buyback cost, I think it was, let's see, 1,200 to the 500 of Shadow Demon. So that's about another 1,000 gold before the gold loss itself.
And the fact that Vici were able to get there in time means they also recovered the Gem of True Sight, so there's none of that value lost either. Very problematic for the support to try and survive.
And you're going to get your Silver Edge, it looks like.
It is.
It will happen.
So we have Silver Edge for the Conquer. The Daedalus, there is enough money for Paparazzi to buy that right now. His surplus is 200 short of buyback.
Yep.
I also love how Fade's been working his way towards this scythe for such a long time. He's like, I'm fine. I got this. No matter what, I got this. Now smoke up from Vici.
They have 2 Ravages, and there's Bounty Rune spawning. This is pretty much the perfect timing.
And there's no Echo.
Oh, this will be a great
start
start.
He is going to go down quickly. Dead for a minute and a half.
It might seem like a small kill, but he has no buyback and dropped the gem.
And Roshan spawns in 10.
Yep.
That's the bigger part. If VP Gaming see this without the Ancient Apparition Blast, like, can you take this?
That fight, I think, is next to impossible for TNC, even with a good Echo. Unless Vici line up for them to land the perfect combo, it's going to be tough.
Stolen volley. It's one Fade never wants to give away. He's going to go through almost the full duration of the steal for it.
It's a pretty pitiful tree volley compared to
the real Tiny.
To the real one, yeah.
Oh, Roshan's alive and VG know it.
It's a big boy. He's got all the items. This is Rosh number 4.
Where's your Aghanims upgrade this time around? Do you actually even give it to the SD so we can keep purging up?
I think giving it to SD is really good. It applies break when you have Aghs. That's why it's the hardest counter to Bristle. Maybe in the whole game. I think Shadow Demon Axe is going to be one of the absolute highest on the list. But are they seriously not giving him the Axe?
Who are they giving it to?
Lifestealer?
Wait, what? He's going to assimilate now?
That's like the worst axe in the game.
maybe it was a misclick.
I mean, maybe they just wanted to pick up everything in case TNC was coming, but I can't.
It's like, so what was
who do you want to swallow?
Yeah, who do you swallow? You don't take in Conquer. You can jump in with Tide Hunter, but Tide's the one doing the jump anyway.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, DY definitely looked a hell of a lot better.
It's amazing. It is so good, this game. And he even has items to get them off reliably with both Lens and Force Staff.
Maybe they're just where these are low, but even then you could take the Rubik out.
They could have given it to Rubik.
Rubik would have been great.
They could have given it to Tide, so they have AoE got. I mean, there's no way. No way.
This makes no sense, but hey.
It's what we got.
That is the decision of the teams.
Vici are still in a great position, so
I love how we get too much of it. It's like, guys, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. It wasn't meant for me.
It's like, okay, man, you want the axe? Swallow me next fight, then do it. Yeah.
It's like watching TNC. Like it was the major where they're just fissure blocking each other out and just playing around the ruins. Hey guys, let's have a little bit of fun. It's going to remind you, VG Gaming, you're currently 1 game down in the series.
Yep.
A loss here drops you to the lower bracket, where then every game is an elimination to get to that grand final.
They're probably feeling really good about their position in this game, though, as they should. They're in a great position. Tide has 3 Ravages, but he doesn't have much mana, though.
Can he even get 3 Ravages up?
No. Unless they mana boot him or something. Do that?
You don't have any, like, there's no arcane boots on the SD. There's no arcane boots on the Ruby. They've both put their items into the Ether Lens.
They probably aren't planning to use 3 Ravages in the same fight anyway. I think it's a mistake, though, to have the Refresher Orb instead of the Shard in his inventory.
Yeah.
you know, the shard is free.
The 375 mana for
It's a
refresher
lot.
orb.
You get some regen for now from having the orb, but absolutely swap in the shard when you're trying to go high ground, just for safety's sake.
Here's your move in. Bristle back in the front lines. Paparazzi gonna rage. There's a quick Abyssal Blade from Gabby. Trying to control up Paparazzi. They'll pick him up. They'll drag him back over with actually another one. Just leave him under the turret. The best front liner they could have asked for. A Bristleback with his back turned and no 3 purges to worry about.
Yep. How fortunate. Oh, that's a good figure, bud.
Yeah, it's going to lock
on the side.
Remember, he's got the Aegis theme model. He just wants to get back out again. Now they can start taking out the shrines. As Red Eye feared, this is Vici Gaming. We take an objective, we move back, and we take a safer objective now. Be it farm, be it shrines.
I do not blame them for a moment for doing that in this game.
Neither do I. You see the advantage.
Considering what happened last game too, they were in good position 2 or 3 times. They just ran up to different high grounds and lost fights. Like there's no need for them to do that currently.
You just have a chat with the coach in the back. It's like, okay guys, let's not go high ground until we're good to win the fight.
It's entirely possible that that's what RTK told them after the game. It's like you have 10 minutes between these games. You don't have time to sit down and go through details in the replay. You get 1 or 2 key points across to the team that they need to work on for the next game. And honestly, I think one of them should have been, okay guys, in the next game, don't force fights in bad positions. That's number 1 thing you don't want to do.
Okay, we have the mana now for TI9 to commit the Ravages. He's got Nocturine Core.
He was hovering a little off.
Looking for a target. Remember, he's got that side that finds as well. The Ravage is going to burn straight away. Tiny, it even clipped the Ancient Apparition in the back lines. Tiny does not have buyback available. VG have an opportunity, but the BKB is down for Kunkka.
He refreshed on Tide. Refresh number 1.
Okay. Now he switches to refresh a shard in.
Now he has another 2 Ravages.
Yep. A Paparazzi, again being that front liner, making the most of his immunity time. Carmel and Gabby clean up the way pretty nicely. Another X mark. That one's over on Ori. He's not even coming close. It's just like, just in case something really weird happens. That's probably going to be on Paparazzi.
Noticed.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, he X'd the bristle with Lotus on. It looks pretty funky when
yeah, it does. Like, that's not intentional.
Right, that's a half-decent static link. Not too great, though.
Still a 53-second window.
So is there anything coming up for TNC now that's going to turn the tides of this game?
They don't have Satanic yet.
There's no big item coming.
Tims is waiting for the right opportunity. He's moving around the side. That's a good Echo Slam opportunity, but they just lost the creep wave. A force-up. Gets Bristol back underneath the Team 4 towers. The finisher is a fantastic block. Rage now up here from Livesealer with the BKB. With the BKB speaking to by TNC. They're waiting it out. The Ravage is ready. In 2, 1. BKBs are out. And the Ravage goes number 1. Yang, is it time for a second? Maybe it's not. The Aegis Immortal has been burnt. VG take the racks. They're just going to reset.
They used 3 Ravages, and all they got was this shitty T-shirt. Now they got 1 melee racks.
They're coming back. Another pickup. The X-Mark's going to bring Tonda back to front lines with the Torrent Razor. 4-star forward. Blazor didn't protect him enough. And now Paparazzi feels like he can just go in. If he can get it back, they've got the hit from range. It's from the Ruben. Range is down for 2 minutes. VG Gaming, what do you want now? Okay. Bottom lane or more?
Now it's a better team.
I've upgraded. I've got the Mahjong set now.
Kunkka's going to defend easily with X-Mark. He comes back to mid. They're grouped up. There's no Ravages available right now. 60 seconds for 2 Ravages for Yang.
I love this. They actually TP Tims out so he can pick up the bounty runes. So Razor actually had buyback. He needed to go and get that money or else they wouldn't be able to have him for this fight. And then he'll come around the back. Echo Slam is available. VG may not be looking for it. The bash is already over on Honey. They forced off him away. VG will protect him. Now Tims, if you're going to go, you're going to go. 3 together. Lock him down. From heaven, the shadow will rise, but Livesealer still gets the BKB off. He's being beaten down by Gabby with all that big damage. Cuckoo will get the jump in as well. Yang will fall. The damage is huge with the Anchor Smash back again, but they just chase for more. A long toss up towards Fate.
Oh my God.
And she just crit the crap out of him.
That's pretty volley. Did he just get 3 crits in a row?
He did.
That was pretty absurd.
Man, what a play by Tims, understanding the game and then getting the great position. He knew he was okay because the Obs and Sentries were on top of the hillside, so he knew the VG had no information.
And you have to take these risks. When your back's against the wall and you're this far behind, you got to do something crazy. And it worked out. Ice Blast was crucial there.
You've still lost a lane of rack as well as a tier 3 tag power on bottom. This is still the small crippling part.
It's not great, but it's better than the alternative, which was game 3 right now. More than likely.
Well, the alternative is still potentially there. It was a 30 grand advantage because the bounty rate still got picked up by TNC. It swings back up another 5. The experience is probably telling a closer game, however. Only 9,000 the lead. And TNC, they'll smoke up. They want to force some buybacks.
Yep. How many are they going to get?
Actually, he went 2 charges of disruption on SD.
Yes.
I was wondering if he would think about the purge damage against Gabby, but he's going to Aghanim him, so maybe not. There's disruption number 1. That bottom rank's getting brought down quickly. Ship is comboing it nicely. Forced up on the bristleback, still protected by that Lotus off. Kunkka pulled back by his own X-Mark. Double Daedalus looking to try and get some level of damage in, but TNC just did a hit and run. But they didn't force the buybacks out from VG Gaming. Only the one on the Rubik.
Still a great grab, though. They get a lane of racks out of that?
Yep.
We'll take that. Oh, Rubik.
Bigger. Forced up away, and Cuckoo. Oh, no, Fade. He doesn't want it. Actually, he wants to steal it, but a great vision once again. Creating space. Tiny BKBs. This is such a low duration time. They may try and continue the chase. In fact, they do. Here they saw it just at the last moment. Move up the hill. It won't last long enough. The fast is there for Paparazzi with the Abyssal Blade. Tiny will fall, so you did get a buyback, but now you're down a player and Roshan will respawn in 40 seconds time. Tiny will have to buy back if TNC want to try and control it.
Yeah, he needs a way to connect to the fight, though. He can't afford Boots of Travel and buyback, and he has no shrine to TP on, so even a buyback is a really long connection timer.
They're coming. Silver Edge up from Kunkka, walks in, close range, Ravage up, Razor, Armel had no they keep getting out, and they pull both Tims and AU up on the hunting front. Is someone going to force up? He's going to force up. He'll get himself away with the Glimmer Cape. X marks his spots over on Bristleback. Is there another follow-through? Silver Edge is coming off cooldown right now. Hit him, break him. Maybe with a volley. Ice Blast coming back, back slow and right. Yank smash, able to help get the kill. 2 heroes down from TNC and VG Gaming. Screw Roshan, go for the win. Those 2 big cores down. There won't be a buyback. There won't be a way to actually stop this. They're going for bottom racks. What are you going for? They're waiting. They're regenning up and then they'll come forward. They don't have a Ravage. It's the only thing to be cautious about. But TNC, with no buyback, Vici will be aware of this because they are on cooldown. Now, Tim, Cuckoo, jumping in, able to get the first little avalanche and hit off. But suspended destruction from DY, creates extra space. Abyssal Blade, Sentry wants to raid where Tans hits the back line with the Echo Slam. He needs to get the damage going, combining with the Ice Blast. 3 heroes being hit by it. Rubik and DY, they'll end up shattering through this with 3 heroes down. All the damage, all of it's gone from TNC. This is the win for VG Gaming. They will come through, they will play more, and they will play a deciding game against TNC, who have fought absolutely valiantly to get to this point. The paparazzi will end it. GG is called. 2 games over for an hour. This is becoming the VG probably never thought they'd have to run.
These games are really close. These teams are super evenly matched, and it comes down to, you know, Dota is always about mistakes and big plays, right? And it feels like in both of these games, these teams are, there's some uncharacteristic mistakes that could be, you can write it off as nerves or whatever you want, but, you know, for example, Gabby being the super strong bristleback feels like Immortal, runs into tier 2, gets killed. There's other opportunities in this game where Yang on the Tidehunter maybe whiffs the Ravage. There's so much to talk about in this game. I don't even know.
Hey, you know what? We've got some people for this. It's their job, so we'll let them have their job.
TNC Predators turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn.
Earth Shaker.
Vici Gaming's turn to
Grimstroke.
Vici Gaming's turn to
The sack.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to pick. Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
Juggernaut.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn.
Warlock.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to pick. TNC Predators turn. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to pick. TNC Predators turn. Use. 10 seconds remaining. Choose your hero. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
You know, spiders are terrifying. Like, absolutely terrifying. And it looks to be the same thing here in the draft, man. Like, what is the answer? How do they find the clearance? How do they survive longer than 20 minutes that the draft panel put us on a clock for?
Real life spiders don't look like that.
Unfortunately. I don't know.
I mean, I don't-
You haven't seen Australian spiders.
It would be pretty terrifying if you saw that spider in real life. Not just size, but also looks with like the cosmetics and everything it has on it. Yeah, this is a really great last pick Brood from TNC. I think if you're Vici Gaming, your solution is to put the Centaur mid. I don't think there's any other way you deal with this. You play the Medusa safe lane with the Warlock, and then you offlane Shadow Demon Leshrac. Perhaps you can do some tri-lane shenanigans and leave the Medusa solo and let her suffer a little bit. But I think the dual lane setup is the only thing you can really do. So what TNC should be looking at is, if the lanes are super predictable for them, which they kind of should be, put the ideal lanes. You keep your Brood mid, even if it's against Centaur, that's completely fine. But how can you punish one of the side lanes? Do you leave a hero solo and do some super strong tri-lane with the Grimstroke and Juggernaut, or do you also do a 2-on-2 match where you can beat them in perhaps all 3 lanes if everything goes right?
Now, that'd be very advantageous, and that would put at least like if they could win all 3 lanes, TNC will be very happy because they can potentially stick to that 20-minute timer. But I also like the combinations that VG Gaming have, where you have the SD as well as Leshrac. It's a classic, it works really well. DY, if you can get early levels and you actually have a rock to drop, if you actually have Fatal Bonds, if you have some kind of control that's able to amplify the damage that Paparazzi as well as Ari may be missing in the early part of the game, then this is a better advantage too. And it feels like, while there's not a Magnus in this game, the rock drop is still able to cause a lot of problems. Same with the Stampede. How does TNC stay on top of them, or does it not matter? Do you just keep pushing anyway?
I mean, I'm pretty convinced that if this goes late, Vici Gaming will win this game, because they have some good late-game solutions for Brood. They just don't have the early mid-game solutions for Brood. Brood has a tendency to either win games in 30, 35 minutes, sometimes maybe 40, or lose most of the time when it goes very late because the hero falls off. Whereas a hero like Medusa scales very well into late game, so does Centaur, so does Leshrac, and their 2 supports. All of Vici's heroes are amazing in long games. So, yeah, you got to hit that timing for TNC, and a lot of it is going to come from Armel, so keep a close eye on his lane.
We have seen some Broodmothers have more success in the late game just because of the change to the webs.
Yes.
And that's one thing they can do when the late game comes up. Ari's already being heavily attacked up on top lane. Tims has Toss. He's going to throw him back a long, long way. Ari's already used the Physics Snake as much as he can, but there's no regeneration. Gabby gets the first blood up on top lane, and DY, there's nothing he can do about it. He hasn't even leveled an ability yet. And every time, this will happen again. Tims with another toss. The early aggression. They cannot allow this to happen. DY, now he'll level up the Shadow Word. He's putting it onto Tims. He wants some level, some rebuttal, one more attack. It may be enough. Yeah, it will be. The Shadow Word will tick him down.
Tango.
And DY,
Tango.
he's, yeah, actually, is it still?
Tango.
It's enough. Tango is good.
Tango. Close call though, but he got out. And yeah, this tri-lane is super strong. TNC has a true kill lane here with Grim, Tiny, Jugger. It's only going to get worse when both Grim and Tiny hit level 2, so that they have Inkswell and Avalanche, as Tims will.
Not deny himself to the mid tower.
Suicide to the mid tower.
Hey, but shared bounty, right?
Yeah.
Everyone gets some money. And Cuckoo's getting pounded on the bottom lane. He's looking for some CS, but he's 10-2 to the 2-0 right, of himself 2-0. But Paparazzi's trying to do some damage directly into Cuckoo. No points up in Edict just yet. They're using Disruption, Lightning, Split Earth, anything they could do to harass him down. He's down to 3 tangos after burning through a couple more as well, south.
That's the price they'll pay. But if they can shut down Medusa really hard, it's great news for them. When it's going to come to pushing and ending the game, though, you might want Leshrac to have a slightly worse game than this, because it's such a strong team fighter with a lot of damage output with the right items. But as the panel talked about, there's some serious bursts on the Radiant side from Tiny and the Juggernaut Omnislash as well. You can probably deal with Leshrac pretty well.
And defensive ward from DY is down, so they can at least see where Tims is moving. Probably would have liked to get it on the other side of the tree line, but Fatal Bonds Tims and AU to the camp. Tims with the Avalanche. Someone want to come close enough? Yep, it will in fact be the Grimstroke. And DY wants to help out. He's just got some damage into the Grimstroke, and that's all. Ori is totally dead. The shields are nowhere near strong enough. And it's just a terrible game for the Deucer now.
And I just saw Yang jump, I think, like 10 CS. One double edge on the spiders. Okay, he just went up another 5 CS.
He's going to rush Vanguard. Then he's pretty safe mid against the Broodmother. What generally happens in Brood matchups like these is that Brood will retreat to the jungle and just out-farm you. They'll farm wave and jungle camps, and Yang will just sit there and get only the wave. But Centaur's biggest advantage in this lane, to an extent, apart from being able to be there, is that if Brood leaves, he's going to take the tower with Retaliate. So you put a little bit of extra pressure on that mid hero to stick around, and will probably limit Armel's farm by a little bit. Trying to be annoying, no?
It buys some good time, more than anything else. And that's what Vici Gaming need. Still get Leshrac up there, top 3 net worths. Only one of them belongs to TNC. Brood's still a little bit further behind. And we know that will start to scale once Brood.
Bottom lane.
Oh, they're actually going again.
Yeah.
Yep, Cuckoo trapped out. Fade. Well, he's getting a lot of poison stacks on him. That's 4. One more, not even needing it. He just pops him anyway. Then up on top, Tim's going once again, TY. And this top lane, eventually he's going to have some diminishing returns. Tim's is going in very deep.
Nice
puts the Shadow Word on him, tosses him back over towards Grimstroke.
Tim's, or DY was not expecting Tim's to be able to find the toss there. He was standing in the middle of the creep wave, but Tim's found the right angle to be closest to the Warlock and toss him away, and they get a nice kill there. Warlock will be respawning and be able to reconnect for the bounty runes, but I don't think Vici Gaming have any intent on trying to do anything on the top runes. Rather, push out bottom lane with the Leshrac and try to get those runes, as Shaker has...
He's abandoned.
He's gone woods.
Yeah, he's gone bush.
That's... Somebody's got to go bottom. You don't give up a lane at 5 minutes like this. I don't think that cannot be worth it with the heroes that they have.
No, that's like full free farm for Paparazzi.
That's one thing. It's also all this golden experience you're losing by not having a hero in this lane. Like, sure, you get some stuff in the jungle, but that's not ideal.
Unless they're thinking about lane switching. You've hit pretty heavily into the Dusa. Like, is there a need to actually bring some pressure down against the Leshrac?
I think that ship has kind of sailed for the laning stage, unless you bring 2 or 3 heroes down there. There's nobody who can go down here on his own and stop this Leshrac from doing what it's doing. The problem is if they don't do it, he's just going to push the towers. It's level 3 Edict. These towers fall really quickly. So this is absolutely a problem for TNC that Cuckoo has to evacuate that early, but that was the choice they made when they aggroed the Dusa.
Yep.
Dusa is in trouble again.
Yeah, really staying on top, but then again the Stampede. Inkswell won't connect. Vanderpond's connecting 3 heroes together, and Paparazzi, he's joined the fight. Now he's just going to turn on the teams. They're all connected together, and no way to break free. Cuckoo trapped in the tree lines. If they can attack into Tim's as well as Gabby, Gabby's going to try and spin TB out. He actually gets the kill on the way out. Tim's is doing some damage into AU, but he's back home safely, regenerating up.
And these fights are only going to get worse now. If you try to dive, now that Leshrac has Pulse Nova, when he shows up, he's like double his damage in these kind of fights. So you've got to be super careful with how deep you dive as TNC. You got the kill that you came for, but it cost you 2 cores.
Hey, someone's going to go back down bottom lane as well. SD is now alone down there.
Yeah.
He didn't have to come for the fight. They sent in Paparazzi because they realized they needed the damage output from him. And what happened to Leshrac? He is now skyrocketed up to number 1 in the net worth, 3.6k. And he can build some very, very large items very early on in this game. Like you're 6-7 minutes into the game. Efficiency Shrine just for good luck. Yang has already finished up the Vanguard. Paparazzi, what do we got coming out in the Courier?
It's not for him.
It's not for him, you're right. He was looking at a Bracer as well as a Null.
He's quick buying Bracer. I think it's a really good choice. Maybe you get Bracer and then Yules, or maybe you get... I don't think you get 2 Braces and 1 Null. That seems a little bit overkill, but the Bracer would be fine. And yeah, we see it. Gabby has to go bottom now. Just, you know, somebody's got to be down here.
Yep.
And he does the long run from base to bottom because he died TPing out from top.
AU. Do they see him? Do they see him moving around the tree line? He drops down his Observer Wand, instantly dewarded. That's actually munched on by Ori, so hey, efficiency tango. What happened to this mid-pressure that I thought Armel was going to do? Centaur, with Retaliate, it's just wrecking this tier 1 tower. And Armel, the panel was saying, like, this is meant to be Armel's game, a great Broodmother game, but right now it's taking some time. The only great lane is up here on top where TNC is fighting once again. Stampede, the body block was good, but once again, Paparazzi TPs himself over. Cuckoo is the sacrificial lamb into the tree lines. They're holding the split earth just in case, but it's not even required. Cuckoo, oh, DY.
How did DY get that?
Wait, what? Okay, sure, he'll take it.
Didn't know it's a fatal block damage from the Grimstroke?
I think it was Shadow Word Tick,
Oh,
right?
was it Shadow World? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so Yang has won the mid lane. He took Brood's tower and is 600 gold ahead of it.
Well, now they're trying to do something about it, but the 3-man's done! The hop stomp and the follow-up from Paparazzi, they'll take AU. He came out for the regen rune. Oh, this game is starting to escalate a little bit quicker. We were talking about TNC potentially winning all 3 lanes with great matchups, and now it feels like all 3 lanes, or at least 2 of them, have gone the way of Vici Gaming.
I think you only have a possibility of winning all 3 lanes if you play 2-1-2. If you play 3-1-1, you can't win the 1-on-2 lane, and that one was lost really hard. The Shaker against the Leshrac plus Shadow Demon lane. And the Brood against Centaur, I would have said beforehand that that is not a Brood favored matchup in the beginning, but that Brood can win it by farming, and eventually Armel will do that. But he lost his tower mid at 7:30. I don't think that's as early as this would usually go, but Yang is super experienced with playing the Centaur, and he's having a wonderful game. 113 CS minute 9. I guess some of them are Spiderlings, but that's also telling, right? If he kills this many spiders, maybe Armel isn't in his right element on this hero in this game.
Yeah, he was throwing him in like
out of the groups, right?
Yeah, he did. Fade is just doing nothing but chasing down AU. He had more than enough poison stacks on him. AU was on a warning mission. He came in onto the cover of smoke, but he only came in as he dropped the Radiant Orbs on top of his death position. So he was looking to plant that next to the tier 1 tower. But I can tell you right now, with Vici's presence down here, there's no way TNC getting close to that dire bottom tier 1.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But with Leshrac arriving, 4 points up, an edict to push the wave, take it back. Looks like Armel's getting some damage into that mid tower, bringing it down to half-life as Yang had abandoned his post for a moment. And the catch-up is happening, as you said. Handemize is over on Armel. He's building into the Aghanim Scepter, rushing this up, realizing he needs to have a large amount of control across this map.
Yeah, he needs to farm a lot this game. But already, that is already a bit of a problem. If your Brood Mother needs to, not that Brood needs to farm a lot, Brood always needs to farm a lot, but that it feels like he needs to catch up in a game where we talk about Vici Gaming having the better late game and the overall early stage went well for them. This is very quickly becoming a problem. The win expectancy is at 75% for Vici Gaming, and we're only 10 minutes in. And it's just this early mid tower and this golden experience lead that they have from the laning stages is quickly becoming a problem for TNC to deal with.
And look at the confidence from Yang. He doesn't care about coming high ground with a double head. And that's some spill damage up on top. Paparazzi, Invis rune, looking to prep up. It's a toss back. They don't even know Leshrac. Yeah, they do. They walk just in range of the sentry ward. That's why Tim's threw out the toss straight away. But Stampede, now they're chasing after Tim's. What's he got? He's got toss off cooldown. He'll throw Paparazzi away, but Purges up. Split Earth will easily be able to connect. And the tiny wall fall. Paparazzi claiming his 4th kill of the 8 that VG have 11 minutes in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
His Gabby's getting something on the bottom lane. Farming out quickly, going in for the Maelstrom build over on the Juggernaut. And getting some damage into this tier 1 tower. Medusa will have to come and do something about it. She's just been wanting to farm up the stacks.
Yeah. It feels like TNC actually need to start making moves, but your Brood is not really ready for it yet. Yang is just sitting on Brood really hard. And your Shaker got crushed in lane, so he doesn't have many play options. And Tiny's level 5. What's Grimstroke? He's also level 5. We're 12 minutes in, none of their supports are level 6. On the other side, Shadow Demon is almost level 8, and Warlock is almost level 8. They have a hugely... Are there any tomes on this courier? There are no tomes. This is what will happen. So the weakness of going tri-lane like this is if you don't get a lot of kills and just stomp the lane, if you keep the lanes for too long, your supports are going to get underleveled because they're sharing experience 3 ways, right?
Yep.
And I felt like the moment Shaker evacuated from bottom and gave up on the lane, you need to put a support down there to leech this experience. You can't just leave this lane empty for 2 or 3 minutes, which results in exactly this. Your options are just super limited on the map right now for TNC.
You know, Fade, I think that's a little greedy, but I understand he wants to get the Ether lens up. He just farmed half of the stacks that he did on the Ancients with just mass stacking up poison. But Ari can finish what's left.
I'm the carry now.
Yeah, it's just...
And now Brood is top net worth. So Armel is finally leading the board. But similar to Alchemist, Brood has a bad game if it is not the richest hero in the map. Your net worth is not as valuable as other heroes overall. In general, that's like a rule of thumb. It's not 100% always, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So this is not enough. if you recall some of the very iconic Matumba Man games, for example, from TI9 when Liquid won, a lot of the game's motto is 2k gold ahead of all enemy cores at this point, or maybe even 3. So with that logic in mind, Broodmother is currently behind par for the course, kind of.
Needs to catch up 2,000 gold.
He needs to find big items, and maybe if there's some sort of stray kill that can come his way that could help, maybe the Broodmother can find Shadow Demon, someone kill him with spiders, but Vici are just not playing Brood's part of the map with anyone else than Centaur, and he can't kill that guy, so look at how fat Yang is.
Yeah.
Crimson Guard, 2k health, minutes 13.
And he's working on finishing a full pipe for his team, so a lot of that magical damage is going to be negated on TNC. Meanwhile, Paparazzi, because of his Cray start's got a Yule Scepter, so he's got both defense as well as aggressive options when it comes to the fights. And he's got Warlock sitting behind him. Like normally you have a Warlock and their Warlock hits 6 and you're like, okay guys, let's go and fight. Let's find a great opportunity. And now on bottom lane, there's the movement. Tim's, Yule's stunned, can't walk away. He added some pressure. He tried to toss away Paparazzi, but that may have actually just hurt Gabby more if that actually succeeded. But it doesn't. It's just still one off kill. Blink Dagger flying out right now. In fact, it's...
Gabby's running at Yang, but
no, that's not.
What are you going to do?
There's a Blink Dagger for Cuckoo. This has to come on the back of a smoke. The Aghanim Scepter as well, I think it's about to be completed up for Armel.
Yep.
So a lot of critical items starting to arrive for TNC. What can they do with it?
Yeah, this has to be a play timing, right? You smoke up with your Shaker, your Tiny, your Grimstroke, and maybe a Jugger or Brood, and you combine on the lane and get something done. Either get this mid tower with a lot of Spiderlings, or you try to push the top tower. But just sitting around farming right now, I think is definitely the wrong play, and something needs to happen. So let's see what they're going to do. They're just going to grab these 2 bounty runes for now.
God, those whip charges
Vici are getting a tower in the meantime. This lead, Toby, it's getting ridiculous. What do you think? 90% almost.
Oh my God.
15 minutes in.
You just watch the win probability.
I mean, you look at that graph and you just feel like, okay, I mean, I know it went a bit better for Vici in the last 3 minutes, but I didn't expect it to swing this much, you know? It's like...
And you still have a Broodmother at number 1, Juggernaut's at number 3, and when it comes to net worth,
yeah,
like, items are not stopping, but it just tells you the tail when it comes to gold, when it comes to kills, is favored.
Expectancy of games is... like, the golden XP graph can only take you so far because it's a lot about knowledge of matchups and how things are supposed to go. DY
actually reveals that Urshiga blinks over, but he didn't see DY. Now DY will drop the rock as well as get the better bonds off. Have they got another control? No, they don't. In fact, it's Fade in trouble. Stampede to disengage. My God, all those spiders just evaporated. Paparazzi and Centaur can go to work. Yule Scepter up. And you will hit the deck in the hardest way possible.
Yeah, TNC just didn't find the play. It's so hard for them to find an opening right now.
That timing was really unfortunate too.
Yeah, they ran.
You had to have a guess of where the blink was, and DY was only just putting that observer ward down.
Yeah.
So the trade-off, looking for the mid tower. Paparazzi will arrive. Once again, a lot of Spiderlings died for this movie. We're at 228 CS on Centaur and 172 on the Dusa. A lot of this is spiders.
I don't think the Dusa killed any spiders.
She hasn't? I guess she's just been neutraling.
Maybe a bit, but not much. If she killed, I don't, like 5 maybe? I don't think I've seen her kill very many spiders at least.
Like, what's the spider gold counter or something? That's what we need.
They give minimal amounts of gold. It doesn't really much. They're worth like 3 gold each or whatever. I mean, it's something, but...
And Cuckoo really wants to drop this Echo Slam somewhere, but he's not finding an opportunity at all. And he doesn't want to do it on Yang. Hood is already done. Crimson Guard is up. I think the pipe is just... Yeah, he's just waiting for 50 gold, and the pipe will fly out.
So we talked pre-game about timing and what TNC's lineup needs to accomplish in order to get control of this game and run away with it. And now that the timing has been missed, that is why we're seeing this 90% win expectancy. So what's the last 10%? Outside of Vici screwing up, the options that TNC are kind of limited to are trying to force fights around where Brood is playing, and then probably blowing up the Leshrac is my best bet. You're not killing Centaur, and if you are, it's going to cost you the fight.
Well, on the bright side, Leshrac went for movement speed build, so that's your upside.
He does have a save, however, and a golem behind him once that's available, so even that kill is hard, but it's what you've got to try as TNC is to to find a way to access fights. If you're playing chicken
Radiant's middle
with
tower is
Brood
under attack.
the whole game, hey, Brood's chances are just not good here. So you've got to start taking some risks. You've got to go for some plays that are maybe very unlikely to succeed. But what if they do?
Yang wants to play. Gabby doesn't want it. Here, have a VG tag. That won't save you, Gabby. Actually, you will. And just like, you win. So you're fine. Spin saves him, not the tag. But nice to see he's coming into this series armed with all the memes they can have. Paparazzi's hoping for an opportunity in mid, and Viz ruined up.
And Paparazzi's changing his build. He was hovering the Kaya, which is the classic component from the Sumail move speed build. I'm going to call it the Sumail build because he was the first guy I saw do it. I don't know if he actually invented it, but I think he might have.
We'll give him credit.
Where you go the Boots of Travel Yules, and then, or Yules, then Boots of Travel, then Kaya Yasha. So you have permanent 550 move speed with the 15 talent move speed. And then you can level up your Pulse Nova early because you have the mana cost reduction from the Kaya.
And Yang is hunting. Bottom lane, Stampede, straight through. Tim's, well, he knows he's dead. Paparazzi didn't even arrive in time for the rest of TNC. Hey, what happens? You lose a hero. Let's go fight, boys. 4 heroes together, smoked up, looking towards the mid-tier 1 tower. Fade is the man who's on the defense duty.
I'll finally get this tower.
Even if they have to go, yeah, just send the spiders, they'll do the job.
Yep.
But maybe they can get something else. Dusa, as well as SD is here. TNC fight best when there are only 4. They already get the slow out, the silence, no, Bandits on the rock, and the Venomable, 3 heroes connected together. They're gonna burn so hard. Yang just walking up. You've already taken out the Grim Spirit. Gabby, no longer spell immune. Cannot stand next to Paparazzi. They want Cuckoo. He'll blink away to safety. But Vici Gaming, 2 heroes down. They can push towers. They can take Roshan. They can do both. They can take runes. They can only do 2 out of those 3.
Are you sure about that?
Well, there's only so much time they've got.
Yeah.
It's not infinite. And Tim's is going for the bottom bounty runes.
Yeah, at the very least for TNC, they do look to get a 2-2 trade. Never mind, they get 3 for 1. Shadow Demon shows up with a haste.
They didn't even take the tower, so I guess not.
And imagine, we're sitting here watching both teams' perspective, right? We're watching what both teams are doing, what items they have, how they're moving, where the wards are. And I'm struggling to see potentially good plays for TNC right now. So from their perspective in this game, I really wonder what the communication is right now. Like, what's the next play? What's the goal of the game? How are we going to get out of this sticky situation here to make the comeback?
Does the itemization of Armel kind of tell you a little bit about that? Like, he builds pipe, he's building for the team to stand together. You're still getting like full-on damage from Gabby. Like, he's going into beyond your style build.
Maybe the timing is level 20 on Armel, so he gets the spider attack damage talent, and then he's going to have the Solar Crest and the Blight to keep the spiders alive.
Yeah, missing that up a little bit. Tim's trying to do something with this as here comes the blinking from Cuckoo. Great fidget block, but it's the biggest hero. You got to try and bring down. Once again, Battlefield is doing its work with the Echo Sap. They're getting through what we thought could have been the unkillable. We asked them to do something, and that's exactly what happens. Armel wants to go for more. DY begins to TP. Someone got a stun. Cuckoo does. Blinks forward. And now 2 heroes from Vici Gaming fall.
All right, that's good.
That'll work.
They got 2 kills, one of them being the huge Centaur. They had to work hard for that kill, though. If Yang wouldn't have chilled so long and just used MP, he would probably got out of there.
Yeah.
But he felt invincible, and that's... Sometimes feeling invincible is not a good thing.
Isn't that game 1 all over again?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, we feel really good. Wait, hang on. Reminder, we are playing a team that can knock us to the lower bracket at TI9.
So,
give respect.
Very, very big for Brood to get this. He got both kills, he got the tier 2 tower, and all of a sudden Armel is almost got the Solar Crest and the level 20. And
Ahri is still getting bigger, though, while all this is going on. Like, all the fights have been happening. Ahri has literally just been jungling or lane farming in very safe areas. He's almost going to crack the 300 CS and about to finish a full butterfly.
that we'll cross that bridge when we get to it for TNC. First problems first.
One step
need to deal with the Medusa later.
Hey, you'll be out of control. Cuckoo's building in for an Aghanim Scepter, and once you got this, maneuverability is going to be the name of the game. Broodmother moving up and down hills, Cuckoo staying with him.
As far as Vici goes, though, you saw how long it took them to kill that Centaur. Imagine there's a save there. Imagine there's a Golem. Imagine there's a Shadow Demon Disruption. It feels like this play only works because there's not enough in the way of protecting him at the time. So if Vici Gaming are a little bit more together, winning a team fight right now for TNC seems almost next to impossible. Like, they need a really good Echo Slam, they need a really good Tiny Combo, probably a good Omni Slash too. Like, they can't really make any mistakes, which, you know, we've seen flawless team fight execution from TNC. They can do it, but it's a really stacked deck against them right now in those fights.
Well, we passed, as you said, 20-minute mark. 23 is on the board. TNC.
It's a bit of a comeback, though, if you look at the graph. It got a couple of percentages.
It definitely is. We're now sitting at 89% for VG Gaming win probability.
So just
Paparazzi
has the solar, right? Who has the solar?
On Courier? Yeah.
Yep. So there's a solar and the level 20. The reason I'm looking for this timing is Brood gets insanely strong when these two things align. When you get the solar crest and level 20 for the spider attack damage talent, you go from dealing a lot of damage to dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah, so wants the spiders.
That's not a good way to have an army.
382 CS now on the Centaur. Rack 'em and stack 'em.
This is the highest CS of Centaur ever at 24 minutes. I almost guarantee.
Nice smoke up from VG Gaming, except at the same time, Fabe was walking back. Glimmer Ether Lens.
It might be the highest CS by Centaur ever at this point by like 50.
He's going to go in for Roshan. TNC, they're going to try and sneak in.
I love it. Take a risk.
But hey, Yang is taunting his way over the pit. Don't look now. He hooks up. He's able to get the double stun. Run on Roshan. Paparazzi with the follow-up for Gabby. He's pushed up. He cannot move even with the spin. This is that piercing. The rock will drop. Connect everybody up. A quick Omni Slash. Try and break him free. Get him inside the pit. Gabby, he's actually on the other side of the rock wall. He gets away while Tibbs keeps it into the back line. You've actually wasted the Stone Gaze, and TNC, they get out without a single loss.
Yeah, there's no Stone Gaze, no Golem, no Stampede. That's pretty good.
Brood can slip back into Roshan. Now VG Gaming's attention turns into how do we stop TNC from claiming Roshan?
And I love TNC take this risk. You see, it's a high-risk play, but the reward could be massive, right? If you don't take these risks in this kind of game, you're unlikely to come back, so...
They're even trying to kill the Golem off. Yep. Hey, there's some money!
And Brood is back looking at the Rush Pit. Has the spider damage talent. This Rush can die really quickly.
You see,
Armel might just get it, actually.
Good observer, what? Just looking in. What do you do, Ari? Do you want to push? He's got no save. There's no backup. There's a disruption. They're smoked up VG Gaming. They're still watching Roshan closely. The damage from the spiders as well as the Brood is so huge. The spiders actually almost going to go down. The poison's killing them off. This is when Armel loses his power, when he loses his spiders.
Yep.
So he has to make some more. Over towards mid. There's more where that came from. Lobstop jumping in. Yang was trying to fight. Great push in the back line, but Paparazzi BKB all protected. They're losing the Brood by the way too quickly. Armel needs to get up the hill and far away. There's no place like home. Lashrak and Yang both able to back up. There's a nice regeneration route. Deny it. Woo. Okay, well, that will still deny it. No, he bottled it. So Paparazzi can get back up to full mana.
Like,
Roshan, remember this man? 1700 HP. They want to break through him. Grimstroke's looking. Gabby walks in. Gabby walks out. We're playing Do-Si-Do in the fog of war. Paparazzi found the target, the backline. Cuckoo dead so quickly. He takes so much damage. Now Paparazzi can burn the regeneration and get all that mana back. But Tiny wants something else. He's tossed back the illusion. He wanted the real one. Now Tibbs is out way too far. Yang will capitalize. Looks up forward. Able to get the double edge damage. Paparazzi's there too. With the lightning, they got the slow stand beating up Tibbs. There's nowhere to hide. They still think about doing Roshan, but Ori, he is the gatekeeper. At the front of the pit, TNC can still not get in, and Yang is like, okay, maybe I should do some damage now. I'll help Paparazzi. Armel can't let this happen. Ori still on the front lines with a Fidget Block. He's trapped up on the high ground. DY can't really help it. Roshan, he will die to VG Gaming. Hagen's in the hands right now. It's actually going to be Paparazzi. Gabby, he's trapped and brought down. Broodmother. Now he's trying to retreat. The more damage he takes, the faster Grimstroke will die too.
That was a super well-played Roshan control by Vici Gaming. This whole situation, the way they spread their heroes, they have, like you said, the Medusa is kind of just protecting the Roshan area, while the Leshrac finds an opening onto the Shaker, and they get a great fight out of it in the end. And, you know, hats off to TNC for trying to pull off this play. I think you you have to do something like this, like I've said before, Vici were just too good in this instance. And a weaker team would have maybe faltered there and you would have got the Roche. But you see, so Ori's going to walk up here and will get fissured off. But get Stone Gaze off, and flat out a mistake from Gabby here to get petrified. This should not be happening. You're just running in, getting petrified. I'm not sure what the plan is here. There's no way in hell you're ever killing the Medusa without using Omnislash. She didn't have any mana. And then they just ran down and forced the Brood away as well.
Yeah, you realize it from TNC. There was a lot of laughing before game 2, but things have gotten really serious. They're missing their timing. The pick a Brood didn't work out the way they wanted it to. But you still come up with a plan. You still try and find a way to fight against VG Gaming. It seems so hard to keep these spiders alive too from Armel. All that big damage he wants to get into the backlines to kill off units like the SD. But then you got Glimmer Cape protection. In fact, both of them are going Glimmer Cape. DY has almost completed his.
Yep.
So difficult for TNC just to get this straight up target lockdown. Goodbye Tier 2 tower. Aegis to the Immortal. Oh, they're still in the hands of Paparazzi up on top. He's having his own little duel with Tims. Stampede just wants to close the distance, do some more damage. Tims has tossed. The creep wave's coming in. That's not what he wanted. Paparazzi, such fancy footwork. That's difficult with 4 legs. Tims, there's your hit with the splitter. Down he goes.
Made him work for it. I think Paparazzi messed up and could probably stunned out of the Yules. Not sure if he was saving it for anything else or had cooldown, but when I clicked up there, I think it was ready. So they have to use a Stampede, and it takes another 10 or 15 seconds. So Tim's definitely buying some time there, but time for what? Time for what?
The second coming of TNC.
Well, maybe time to fight for bounties.
Maybe.
You gotta try it.
15 seconds to get into position. Luckily, Brood has a rather large network that he could use to get north.
And a rather large net worth, unlike all of his teammates.
Well, that's because he's taking up most of the map. It's pretty choked out. VG Gaming aren't giving them many options. And now, well, Juggernaut, Yang, well, blink, hold, stop, quick call the Blade Fury. And Gabby, he needs some distance, and he needs it now. The rock will drop. Here comes Tori 2. Needs some extra slow. Brumon's going to be nearby. They're doing so much damage. There's no way the Juggernaut can live. Even with the avalanche, they can't create enough space. Dead without life back in Armel. That TV didn't work. And Armel, no protection. They're trying to slow him down. Great Fisher. Cuckoo able to create a little bit of extra space, but VG don't care. They just want to rampage forward. They want that semi-final matchup against LGD. And at this rate, they'll take it. TNC, they need a miracle.
Or 5.
Radiant structures are fortified.
One after the other, no spaces between.
Yeah, this is looking really, really tough for them. Just a flat-out 5-on-5 seems completely unfavored. They don't have the damage to kill the Medusa. The Leshrac has an Aegis. Is running around with haste move speed pretty much. He took the strength talent, so actually doesn't have full haste move speed, but 5 for 10. And another huge grab for Vici Gaming.
And together they move out. They can take out the Shrine. They'll push through the top tier 2 tower as well. It's time for the new Vision game from VG Gaming. Actually, they've got 4 TP scrolls coming up the courier. All right.
Yang wants to be able to TP.
Yeah, they're all his. Could have brought some Observer Wards for him if they're off cooldown, but no, we'll do it this way instead.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Tier 2 tower is gone, and they will not hold back. With the Aegis the Immortal on Paparazzi, he's got nothing to fear. The Fissure doesn't block him out. Ori has enough space to move up high ground. No missed chances for him. And Paparazzi now triggers off the Edict. No fortification available from TNC. But the tower cannot survive. They are losing map control so fast. And all Armel can do is just move within his network, farm outside, but farm to what end?
He's got the Hex, so he can kill Shadow Demon.
He can
find some.
At least they have something then that can work with the Soulbind.
True. That's another good point about this game. When it comes to teamfight and how TNC have built their lineup, they really haven't set up Brimstroke for success except the Juggernaut spin with Inkswell on. That's the only thing that synergizes with his ulti is his own silence and toss. outside of the Hex that Brood got 30 minutes in. So Grimstroke's primary teamfight contribution is generally one stun from the Inkswell and then the Soulbind and setting his teammates up for success and maybe a good stroke of fate. But you take that ulti out of the equation, it used to even slow, it doesn't slow anymore.
Yeah. Like you just see like how happy Vici are to keep doing what they're doing. Like you've already got your defensive items for Ori and he's going in for the MKB next. Like no need to worry about the big burst damage. 2.1k HP seems to be enough for him. Same with Leshrac, 2k, but he's got the BKB to defend.
He's super fine. He has 2.1k.
Oh, Amel, the blink. They catch out the Brood Mother, and all of a sudden they continue to chain. Brood is dead. 85 seconds. Grimstroke cannot TP out. Basically able to control him with disruption. And VG are all over TNC. No room to breathe. And this feels fatal. The push up from VG. YOLO indeed, Gabby. That's all you can do. The buyback came out from the Grimstroke. But without the Brood Mother, you don't even have the double hex we were talking about. Tims, he goes for it. He doesn't get the toss back, however. He just tosses Ori straight up in the air. A quick vision. Now the Soulbind together. Gabby is already spinning himself away. Paparazzi is killing Tims in the back line. They'll go fountain if they want to. This game's over. It really is over. VG, playing your flag. You own TNC's home. Tims is going to do the best he can. TNC will fight to the bitter end. But VG Gaming now going for the Megas. Edict burns through all the buildings. Gabby moves forward, looking for some damage to burn off what matter. No, he's going to burn off life instead. Perched up. Now the rock will drop. He didn't want to control the Juggernaut. He'll still get the Omni Slash off, however. But how much damage is this really doing? They're so tanky and split across the fight. That's GG. Warrior is gone. VG Gaming will advance to the semi-finals to have a date with an all LGD VG China semi-final. It still looked a little shaky, Cinder, and VG